have so many cool guests. But before that, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for taking the time out of your day to hang out for an hour or so, however long this thing goes. And I couldn't be more grateful for this year. And let me make sure everything is muted. Yeah, everything is muted. So, from the bottom of my heart, thanks. And I just want to start introducing everyone and have everyone introduce themselves, I guess, and we'll get this party started. So, thanks again. And we'll bring Kevin, the main man, in first since he's up here. So, we'll bring Kevin and just do a little introduction and happy Saturday, dude.
Hey Pat, how you doing, man? How's your day?
Good.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is gonna be fun because we have different YouTube content creators, but not only that we have different YouTube content creators, we have different avenues of IT, or how people got into IT. So who am I? My name is Kevin. You call me Tech IT Support on YouTube. I do cover like help desk, IT support, system admin stuff. I'm a technical trainer. I've been in IT for almost close to 10 years. I do cover system admin, help desk stuff. What I said earlier, and I'm happy to be here. It's just super exciting, awesome idea to get different YouTube content creators input on certain things. So, like I said, I'm a content creator. I'm a technical trainer. I do tech training for JobSkillShare. I do tech training for military veterans. I do tech training for Rights to Cyber for minorities in IT. I'm also partnered with Blacks in Cybersecurity. I'm also partnered with women in cybersecurity. I'm also partnered with women in cyber jitsu. So I'm friends with a lot of different people in different companies. And yeah, that's a little bit about me in a nutshell. Happy to be here, and that's it for me, Pat. So
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate that, Kev. Thank you. And the next one we can bring in is the bearded IT dad. He's amazing. I love his content. He's killing it. And hopefully 2024 is even better, right? So let's bring him on in and have him introduce himself and go from there. Much love, kid.
Well, thank you for the great intro. I am the bearded IT dad. I am at my day job. I'm a director of network operations, and here on YouTube, my whole goal is to try to make IT career success simple. I do that through videos talking about different certifications and stuff like that. And I have a really unique story that I look forward to sharing and stuff. How I got into the field with like no certifications and stuff, and so many people think this field is so intimidating, and my whole goal is to try to break down those walls and make make it easier for those who want to achieve their dreams.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dakota. I appreciate that. And I can't wait to hear more of your story. I know a little bit about your story because I was on your channel and I thank you for that. But, we'll get into everyone's story, everyone's goals and achievements this year and what they look forward to in 2024. So the next one we'll bring in is the cyber warrior. He's the main man and we'll bring him in and see what he's all about. Let's bring him in.
What's going on, Pat?
What's up? Go ahead and take the floor, and it's all yours.
So yeah, no, I'm the cyber warrior. Everybody, for those who know me, I run Security Happy Hour. I've been on YouTube for about 3 years now, maybe longer. I used to do a lot of tech content. These days, it's more about promoting others, motivating others, things of that nature. So Security Happy Hours, really what I love to do every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But in my full-time job, I am a practice manager. I work for an MSSP, and we deal mainly in the engineering. I deal mainly in the engineering space, while my counterparts deal more in the operations. So I help get things implemented for different organizations. And, from there, I've been in this field way too long. I retired out of the Army in 2017 and been in enterprise, kind of doing my thing ever since for our regular organizations, MSSPs and consulting. I've run the gambit from red team, blue team, even a little bit of GRC. So for me, it's just all about having fun and helping people along the way.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that introduction. And next one we can bring up is Josh. Keep it IT, keep it techie, keep it IT simple. Keep it simple. But awesome, Josh. Thank you so much for being here and spending the time with us on this day before New Year's. And do a little intro, and we'll get into the part. Oh, no, actually, we have one more. Sorry. Almost forgot about him. But yeah, introduce yourself and see what it's all about.
Hey, Pat. Hey, guys. How y'all doing? I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me over to your channel for this awesome stream of getting us all together. This is super dope, man. I'm super excited. A little bit about myself. I'm Josh. I run a YouTube channel called Keep It Techie, where I cover a lot of different topics, mainly dealing with Linux and Linux tools. So that's a pathway to lead you into cybersecurity. And I don't know. I'm just super excited. I'm ready to get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been in the IT field for a number of years, about 15 years. I worked as a system administrator, network administrator. I'm currently working as a database administrator. So I could probably bring a different perspective, from everybody. But nah, just happy to be here. Appreciate it.
Awesome, brother. Thank you. And the last one, and not least, Professor Roger. So let's bring him in, introduce yourself, what you do, and we'll get this party started.
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. My name is Professor Roger, and I've been in the field for 20 years. Like everybody else, we're veterans in the field, experts. I work for Microsoft. My title is Senior Principal Cybersecurity Architect. I help companies mature their security posture, help them build a team, help them with their solutions. Also I'm a professor of cybersecurity. I teach at several universities on the East Coast. I'm originally from Brooklyn. I'm located in Atlanta now. And also I founded the Professor Rogers Cyber Lounge, where, my mission is to help minorities get into cybersecurity space. So I have trainings, sources, career guides, all that stuff to remove the barriers or obstacles that are in the way for them to get into the field, right? So I'm glad to be with my friends at the end of the year. All right, let's have some fun.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for being here. Like I said, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate this. This should be a blast. And for everyone shooting some stuff in the chat, thank you, Dakota, for what you just did. Appreciate that, brother. And it just popped up. And yeah, I really appreciate every single one of you guys. So I guess we can obviously talk about what went right this year, right? I guess we'll start from the left going right. I guess I'll start first, right? I guess I'll start and we'll go around the room. We'll go around the little cube. So what went right for me? I guess work. Obviously, thank God I have a job. On the YouTube, we'll keep it YouTube friendly or towards YouTube and the content creation. I hit 56,000 subscribers today. It's pretty stoked about that. I might be just a little guppy in the sea, but it's a big achievement from the beginning of the year. I think I had 28,000 subscribers. So I think I went up 34,000 so far. So I think that's a pretty decent amount. It's 3 times the amount of last year. And, created a few courses, on my YouTube channel, SOC analysts, setting up a SIM tool, some hacking labs, Windows Server 2022. And I'm finishing up a VMware. So if you're looking to get your VCP DVA or DCV, data center virtualization from VMware, I'm going to have 23 videos to set up a VMware environment, ESXi, and all that stuff. I don't just do cybersecurity. I do it for a living, but outside of cybersecurity, a lot of you folks know, I come from a network systems background. So that's where my bread and butter and my heart still stays. And, cybersecurity just came about, 12 years ago when I got my PayPal hacked. And a lot of people know about my story about that. So that's, a lot of wins this year. And I'm just super stoked to see what 2024 has in store. And we'll talk about what I'm going to do in 2024 because I don't want to talk, the whole time. But that's a little bit about a lot of my wins. So thank you for all the support and love. And let's, fucking kick ass in 2024. So I'll pass it to Professor Rogers. What is your wins this year?
Wins this year is that I got about 400 people certified in Security Plus and ISC squared. Right. Thank you, thank you. And we got maybe 50 to 100 people jobs in IT, working in conjunction with other nonprofits and recruiters and stuff like that. I think that's my major accomplishment. Other than that, this year sucked. So much. It's like, I guess it's the last COVID year. So, I guess so. I don't know, but yeah, this year it's a crazy year. But I enjoyed it.
Awesome. And you're still alive, so that's a win, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
cool. Awesome. Thank you for that. And I guess we'll go to Kevin. Go ahead and what are some of your wins this year? And then we'll go around what are the losses, right? And then what we can do to improve those either wins or losses in 2024. But we'll get to there in a sec.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited to be here. Like I said earlier, one of the big wins for me is I actually got to meet people that are on this panel. Like I got to meet Professor Rogers in person. We hung out. I had pizza with him in Williamsburg area, Brooklyn area. We chillaxed. Then I had a chance to have barbecue with Keep It Techie, and we actually shot some guns, and it was pretty cool. Like like Keep It Techie he's a down to earth guy. I love Keep It Techie. So we hung out, we chilled. I wish I had more time. Otherwise, I would have hung out with him a lot more. And then the other opportunity was hung out with actually Pat, and we hung out at DEF CON, and we actually had people that actually knew who we were because of our YouTube channel. And we helped so many people, and I didn't realize that we impacted a lot of people that much. And that was a good opportunity for us because we helped a lot of people. And then those are wins for me because I get to meet people, and it's very important for me because you're building you're building like your journey. You're also getting to know people in person. Like, it's different being in video versus being in person, right? It's not the same thing. It's two different things, right? So I appreciate that. And then the other wins for me is I have 17,000 students that are enrolled in my Udemy course. So literally 17,000. That's a lot of students, 17,000 students. And then I helped over 1,000 people get jobs in IT this year. So I'm excited about that too. So yeah, a lot of big wins for me this year. And my Discord just hit 10,000 people. Like literally have 10,000 people on my Discord. So I'm also excited about that too. So it's just big wins for me, very big wins for me. But that's it for me. That's all I got to say. So
awesome, dude. Thank you for that. And the Cyber Warrior, what are some wins 2023, and what is some stuff that you're proud about?
Oh man, so let's see. I ended up in my first management role since retiring out of the Army. Something I never thought I was going to do. When I retired, I retired as an NCO. I really didn't like being in charge of people and being responsible, but that's because the military puts a bad taste in your mouth about it, because then you become responsible for all of their mess ups too, and including DUIs and things like that. So, but no, I finally found my way back to it and realized I really enjoy it. And so started that earlier this year. I want to say it was like March timeframe. I'm up to 40 as of today, 4,800 subscribers on YouTube. So, nothing to the likes of the people here on this panel, but I don't put out the technical content that everybody else does. For me, it's more about, the interviews and putting other people out there. So, I don't necessarily foresee it as being a bad thing. It's just, different type of content for different people. And so for me, it's just a different way that I can help that, I think works for me. And then beyond that, it's been, just taking care of business and moving up in the world and, looking to do more and more next year. I'm going to bring Walk With Me back next year. I did 50 episodes. And that's going to come back out. I'm hoping to start the first of the what would it be, like this 30 of the year. So I'm hoping to drop the first episode then of season 2. And then from there, just keep growing and helping as many people as I can. And, I honestly, and I know you said you're going to get to like losses and stuff, but I wouldn't say I had any. I was interviewing, Isabel last week, and she made a very valid statement. There's no such things as like ups and downs or wins and losses. It's wins or ups and learning experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that is probably one of the best statements that could be made, is as long as we continue to learn and grow, then you haven't lost. The
Facts.
moment you give up on learning is the moment you lose. And I will never consider myself to have lost anything or failed at anything. It's just a growing opportunity and a learning opportunity.
Facts. Thank you for that. And the next one we'll go to is the Bearded IT Dad. Go for it, dude. What are some wins?
Yeah, this year was interesting. Started actually at the end of 2022 when I actually got pretty serious about my YouTube channel and realized the good I was doing. It was a fellow YouTuber who convinced me to get into tech originally. And after I got into tech, it was that same YouTuber that convinced me, hey, you should create a YouTube channel so you can be inspiration and help other people get into tech.
Mhm.
And that's always what it's been deep down, is to try to help people gap this bridge. And when I started getting serious about YouTube, and I started getting more and more messages back from people that were just thanking me for giving them the kick in the pants they needed to um, make the break into tech. And that was just such a great inspiration. This year, I also started doing one-on-one career coaching with people.
Mhm.
And man, did imposter syndrome kick in when I started doing that. I was like, who am I to tell people what they should do with their careers? And I did my first two. I'm like, nah, this isn't for me. I don't know what I'm doing here. And those first two people I coached came back to me like a week later and like, dude, the advice you gave me helped me land my first job like within a
Mhm.
week. And I'm like, this is what I'm meant to do. So that was a huge win for me. The channel started to take off. I've in the middle of building my own studio here.
Mhm.
So that was a huge win for me. And then the career wise, you know, last year I leveled up to a director of network operations at my day job. And that was my dream job in the beginning. And just continuing to do that, taking on more responsibilities. That was another huge win for me.
Pat, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I think you're muted, Pat.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So, I really, I really like your channel. Like I said off air, like it's doing big things, and the one-on-one coaching, I saw you start advertising that. And that's something that I want to start getting into too. And I have the same thought, right? Who the hell am I? Like to give you advice, but like what the experience that we have, what the experiences that we can provide to others, why not utilize that skill and not put it to waste? Let's take our legacy, whatever we know, and transfer that to the next generation, next person, to bring that up. But yeah, thank you so much. And go ahead, keep it techie. Did you go or no?
No, I went already. Keep it taking the last one.
Okay.
Yeah. How y'all doing?
Man.
Yeah, to 2023 is been, awesome in my opinion. For me, you know what I'm saying? I got to meet a lot of people. Well, first, let me start out this. Let me just talk about some of the, I guess, the wins I got on my channel. So I started my YouTube channel because I became interested in Linux due to a systems admin job. And I didn't think nothing of it. I was just watching other people's videos and I was like, hey, let me just try to document, certain things I'm learning or certain tools that I'm interested in and I want to share with people. That's the whole purpose of me starting my channel. And now it's at like 22K subs, and I just never dreamed it would be that, to that. I know that's small compared to, a lot of people, but that's huge for me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I just never expected it to be that big. Um, so this year, one of the wins, I gained about 6,000 subscribers. I think beginning of this year, I started off with 12. And then also, this is my first time actually going to a tech conference this year. So I look at that as a big win. I've never, actually been to any of the conferences. I always talked about going, and it's crazy because I live in Las Vegas and DEF CON is here every year, you know what I'm saying? And never been, you know what I'm saying? I just never had the time, or I work, I'm normally, I work government contracts. So sometimes it's out of town a lot of times. So it's just always tough to go to these conferences, and this was the first year I had the opportunity to go to one, so that was awesome. And then also meeting people on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? It's almost turned into a family. It's super cool, you know what I'm saying? Like meeting Kev Tech. I don't know. I just wanted to take him. I just wanted to do something with him, man. That was super cool to meet him. You know what I'm saying? And you, InfoSec Pat, meeting you as well. I think I shook your hand, or no, we ran out of time, but I catch you next time.
Yeah.
And then it's just super cool meeting people, and this year's been good. Oh, and also mentorships, like throughout the year. This year I actually started like a mentorship program where I just do one-on-one mentorships for free for like 30 minutes. And I've helped around 30 people either get better positions or get into the tech field. Do mentorship and just directing them and guiding them if they got questions, so that's awesome, to actually help people. I don't know, that's another reason I started talking about the tech field, because in the beginning of my channel it was strictly about, oh, this is what I'm learning in Linux. It was kind of all about me. And then I was like, man, it's so many people out here that need help and they want to get into the field. They don't have the direction. I didn't have the direction going up, so let me try to be that person to give them the direction, and that's something I learned in the military as well. You're always helping people coming behind you, so it's just super dope to help people and see it actually work for them. So that's all I got right now. That's all my wins. I think your mic is messed up again, Pat.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's
Pat
good.
keeps muting his mic
Pat,
and
man.
then forgetting that it's muted.
Gotta call help desk for Pat.
No, it's not even that it's muted. It's just damn Wave XLR thing that goes like the mic goes super low and then it like bugs out. So, and I rebooted my machine today. So I was like, I want to make sure this shit is like everything is rebooted, start from scratch, but it always fails. But yeah, man, thank you so much for sharing that. That's super cool. And yeah, so I guess like, I guess we can not talk about losses because you really made a big fact right there. Like there's really never a loss. It's always a learning experience. And, but, I guess we can go and just talk about like, what do we want to do in 2024? Like I guess start this again. There's some things that, the one-on-one coaching, I've been asked this year from several people, and I'm just like, I'll talk to you for a few minutes. Hey, what are you up to? Blah, blah, blah. But really taking that time to really give back to that person or give back to the community, because we do have, each and every one of us has decades worth of info in our brains or, in us. So why not convey that and why not share that with others? Right. So I was like, okay, like, let me start in 2024. That's something I would love to do. And I have my calendar. Thank you to Kevin, Dakota, and everyone else that has those things going on, one-on-one coaching, everything like that. So that's what inspired me to start that. And yeah, so that's something I'll be starting in 2024. So if you want to learn how to set up a hacking lab at home, we can spend a few hours, whatever. You want to shoot the shit for an hour, we can do that, 30 minutes or whatever you want to do. You can see that on my calendar and we can go from there. And a big goal, I don't know how close I'll get, but I would love to get to 100,000 subscribers. And that's pretty much a big goal of mine. And I always shoot this shit with Kevin, see who's going to make it. I just passed him today, so I'm winning the race. And so obviously it's an inside joke. I like to fuck with him. But yeah, man, like there's so many other things. I want to create, courses. There's some certifications that I want to get that I really want to buckle down. And at the end of this year, like I needed to get back into the motivation of studying. You know, if no one knows, I'm almost 40 years old, so I'm getting up there. So I don't have that drive when I was 25, when I was studying for CCNA, CCNP, and all those Microsoft certs. I don't really have that motivation as much because I have family and everything from the outside, you know, trickles in, right? So it's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, right? And tomorrow never happens, right? And fucking look, it's already 2024. And I wanted to study for the PMPT this year. That didn't happen. You know, I probably got to like 30% of the fucking course. So that's, you know, really buckling down and having a strategy, having a schedule. You know, that's really what I want to do. And obviously going to conferences, meeting, you know, these folks and other folks that are offline, the Space Con. And one other last thing I would love to start doing is getting sponsors on my channel and also speaking at conferences. Yes, I do get anxiety speaking. I'm not going to lie, but it's something that I want to break through and I want to give it a shot. So I want to, you know, do the, what is it, call for papers and fucking, I did one this year.
Pat, you ran out again.
Pat, your microphone is messed up.
Oh,
Have you submitted an IT ticket yet?
I'd say send it to Keep It Techie, but he only knows Linux, so we got to send it to Kev.
Damn, man, I don't want to do support anymore.
You can't send it to Kev. He only works on printers.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
No, your mic.
Can't hear you, man. Your mic is all messed up.
No, you're a no-go.
I can hear you like super muted.
All right, can you hear me now?
Check.
Oh, yeah.
No, check the audio on your actual computer, homie.
No, it's not that.
See, you got too fancy of a mic there. That's the
what it is.
problem.
So you could just use the USB mic like the rest of us, but no, you had to go XLR.
Yeah. Keep It Techie. He's got an XLR there, right?
But he's also
Yeah,
using Linux, right? And he knows how to make it work. There's a difference.
True.
That is true. That is true.
All right.
So Pat, we're gonna take over the show while we're waiting for you to fix your shit.
Yeah. All right.
Also, so Roger, what are some goals you want to do for 2024 since Pat went over that?
Oh, 2023, 24. What I want to do in 2024 is I want to speak more. I want to bring that back. I was doing that before COVID. Now I want to get back into that. I want to try to bring more diversity into cyber, right? Invite people to come to conferences, right? Because conferences is really where it's at. I know you this is your first year going, right, Kev? To conferences? Yeah, and you've seen the power of networking and all that there, right? So it's good to have more diversity in the conferences. So I want to do that. And then also push more free classes and courses and resources. Maybe get a sponsor, right, to help in some of them, right? Like Pat, InfoPack. He got like what? How many? Like Coke, Pepsi. Who you got? InfoPack is your sponsor.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, oh yeah. I forgot his mic. But yeah.
Yeah, you're a little quiet, Pat.
Yeah, let me know if you want me to make a juror ticket for you. I got you.
Service.
Yeah.
Service now, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
QR code so he could scan it, and I think that'll fit.
So, Bearded IT Dad, what are your goals for 2024?
I think my biggest goal is just to continue to grow the channel. I realize it's not just the goal of growing the channel, but it's the larger the channel gets, it means I'm reaching more people and I can help more people that way. So that's I think everything kind of revolves around that goal. But I want to want to help more people kind of get into the IT field. And there's different ways about going about that. I realize that everyone likes it when we do sponsored content, but that also helps fuel the mission for us to go out and do bigger and greater things. I got some projects coming up in 2024 I can't talk about yet, and couldn't have done these cool projects without the help of sponsors. So another thing I wanted to continue to do is my holiday giveaway. I started that this is been my third year, where every holiday season I give back to the IT community. I donate, I give out training material and resources, and that's been a really cool thing. And That's another thing I want to continue to do in 2024. Then personally, I want to get back on the certification bandwagon. I want to go out and get some Juniper certifications and Linux certifications.
Awesome. What about you, Keep It Techie?
All right, so I essentially want to kind of do the same thing Bearded IT Dad said. I'm just looking to continue growing the channel so I could reach more people, so I can help more people get into the IT field. But I also want to make sure I take time because it seems as though I put myself to the side a little bit because I'm always trying to help people, but I need to buckle down and start getting into search of new technologies that are out there. I mean, obviously, cloud is for one.
You learn AI.
I took a little time trying to figure out which cloud to actually go with, which I should have just hopped into it. But I got a fire under my butt at work. We're actually, starting to implement some Azure. So I'm gonna go that route. I'm gonna push to go that route, getting those certifications. So I just gotta continue doing my self-development, the things that I say on my channel. Hey, you guys need to keep getting certifications. I've been kind of slacking a little bit. I got one cert this year. I got Linux Plus, and that was just mainly just to prove that I kind of knew what I was talking about when it came to Linux a little bit on my my channel, because I actually don't use Linux I haven't used it in any of my roles. In a production environment, it's always been a Microsoft environment. But yeah, and I just got to make sure I continue my own self-development and not kind of be a hypocrite by not doing what I should, what I tell other people to do. You know what I'm saying? So you lead by example, essentially, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Cyber Warrior?
I mean, for me, honestly, kind of like the rest, right? It's about as a content creator, and as someone who really wants to make something out of this channel, I'd love to see it grow. Not only for the further reach, but let's be honest, no one is completely altruistic, and so I would eventually like to actually start making some kind of money off of the channel, through ad rev, which means you don't have to give money, but you watch enough hours, then YouTube will pay me. So I'd like to eventually get to that point where YouTube will actually pay me and not other people. And that mainly just comes from the fact that, I'd love to give back more. With as large of a family as I have, I can't dedicate, my salary to helping everybody. Everything I do is an expense, and everything I do is, free of cost to everybody else. So I'd like to get to a point where I could, kind of use that recurring revenue to give back and start doing more giveaways and things of that nature, like I've done in the past, that have all been by donation. I gave away some books from the Cyber Viking, Daniel Dieterman, I can't remember his last name. I don't know. I've got one of his books over there somewhere. But I've done some giveaways. I've had people donate Try Hack Me vouchers that we've given away, and things of that nature. But I'd really like to be able to start giving back and start kind of just recirculating the funds so that the community can continue to grow and learn. But for me, it's all about the channel and just grinding and hustling and making sure that grows. And then after that, I've got a career that I'm proud of and I'll continue to see growth in. But I'm kind of done with the certification things unless it's mandatory by work. I've had more than enough letters after my name that I don't need to do it anymore. I'm now at a point where I want to see other people succeed, and I don't need to be taking up that role of I'll go get a cert and you can't. I'd rather them go get it, and my employees be able to kind of chase their dreams and get to where they want to be in their careers versus me kind of taking money from the organization that could go to somebody else. So seeing other people succeed and grow and learn is really where it's at for me. And I'll self-teach myself things. I'll still, continue to grow as a technician and as a person, but I'm not chasing certifications anymore. Last one I got was my CISP, or no, my reverse engineering malware. I never used it. That's probably going to expire soon. I'm going to keep my CISP, and that'll be the last one I probably get that's actually worth anything. But other than that, man, it's just growing in my career, bringing people up, trying to get people hired and promoted, and growing my channel and trying to get other people's voices heard. That's the biggest thing to me is get your voice heard. If you're not willing to put yourself out there, I can't make you do it. And that goes for, Pat's been on the show. Dakota, I think I've had you on the show before, and Josh has been on the show.
Not yet.
Roger's been on the show. Kev's been on the show. We've all done it, and I've had people that is still in college on the show. Actually, I had a kid still in high school on the show. So if you don't know Ryan Marshall, I believe is his last name. My man is a hacker beyond all get out. You want to talk about the term hacker? That is that dude to a T. And he breaks into things and gets sponsorships and is doing amazing things with automobiles right now. So there's just some crazy things out there, and there's never a reason to say you don't know something. We all have something to give back, and I think that's what I'm going to start putting forth next year is trying to get more and more people to show that they do have something to give back to the community, no matter where you're at in your career.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me now?
Hey!
There we go. Pat, what happened, Pat? I had to moderate the video for you. What's going on?
I know.
Yeah, the USB mic is way better than this $1 million fucking mic.
Oh my god.
So before we move on, actually I want to add on to the Cyber Warriors what he was just saying about not getting certifications. I want to get certifications, but I'm getting them for me. Right. And I think that's one thing a lot of people don't realize. Certifications, in all honesty, really shouldn't be for your current job. The point of getting certifications should be for what you want to do in the future, what you're passionate about. And I view certifications as a framework. It's going to help me get focused on learning that topic. It's going to outline what I need to learn to be a better person, to better understand that. And that's why I want to, focus in on that. So again, I want certifications because it's what I'm learning, what I'm passionate about. Not doing it for my employer. Now, if my employer wants to pay me, that's a whole nother thing. I don't think enough people leverage that in the tech industry, that 90% of your employers out there will pay for you to go get these certifications. They don't need to know that you're getting that for your next job. You're not being deceiving. You're just building your skill set up, because it is in long run going to help them out as well.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. I think that, like I said, where I'm at now, I'm not looking to move, I'm not looking to do anything. And I don't need the certifications, and I've got enough people that do need them to learn and grow, that I could self-teach myself the material. And again, though, like you, that's why I got my OSCP, though. Wasn't that I needed it for my career. It was literally because that was a goal that I have had for years. And I was like, I will get this. And, and I finally got it in 2020 or something like that. And I was like, that was my whole goal, was I'm going to get this certification. And I did, and I finally got it. But I completely get where you're coming from, because I did that with my CCNA. None of my certifications I ever got for my career. Everything I ever got was just because I really wanted it. It was something that I wanted to do to prove to myself that I know what I know, not for any other reason. And for people that are like, oh, I need to get it for my career. No, get it for you. Mm-hmm. Because if you're doing it for any other reason than yourself, and I think that's what a lot of people miss out on. They're always trying to get something for somebody else. This is for my career, my employer, my next employer. No. Do it for you. Because when you do it for you, there's so much more love and passion and just drive to do better, to get it and to understand it and to retain the information than there is for, oh, I got to get it because I need it for X, Y, and Z. No, if that's why, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder to learn it than if you're doing it for yourself. If you truly love what you're doing, then it comes easier, and then you'll actually retain the material.
And I want to feed on that. That's awesome, because I remember going to interviews probably 10 years ago now. And I actually started, because now I don't give a fuck, but because I have a lot of certs, I've taken a lot of exams, and people just ask me, why do I have so many? And I got that question probably half a dozen times on interviews, like, oh, why do you have so many? What is the point? And it's not for the money, because I don't need the money, right? Like I just wanted to understand the concept or learn the skill and then get reinforced for that skill. It's like, if you're going to go to law school or med school, you're going to go take your bar or your, license, right, to become an MD or an attorney, right? You're not going to go to all the way to law school and just fucking bugger off, right? What was the whole point of that? So if I'm learning VMware, if I'm learning whatever, hacking, whatever, yeah, the OSCP, PMPT, all these acronyms, that's the reason why I think, people should take them, right? Not just because I never did any of them for an employer, because it's I don't want to get into that because we're live, but like there's no reason to do it for someone else, right? Do it
But
for yourself.
let the employer pay for it if they can, because some of these are expensive. So if you
Yeah.
can get the company to pay for it, have them pay for it, because
And they should. They should pay.
they've racked up the prices on some of these certifications these days. Like we're talking a few $1,000s for some of these certs, and I'm like, homie, I got 5 kids,
Yeah.
I can't pay for that.
Exactly. So that's what, like, the OSCP you were talking about. The OSCP is like what, $2,000,
Oh,
$1,500.
dude, they completely jacked that one up, man. That's like
Yeah.
$2,000 now.
Yeah. So, that's why, like, the alternative now is, the PMPT or, CRTP or whatever, all these other acronyms. There's so many acronyms, I forget them. And that's, obviously, and even if you don't have the money, learn the material. There's so much material out there. Channels like John Hammond, Cyber Mentor, Network Chart, all these people that have good quality content out there, fucking learn from YouTube University, right? And then if you have a few buckaroonies, fucking go splurge on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's all about. Like, you don't have to have, thousands and thousands of dollars to start in any of these careers. Help desk, you have fucking Kevin, IT, you have Keep It Techie to learn Linux, you have networking, you have you have so many fucking resources today. There's no excuse,
And I will say this though.
Mhm.
I get that some people are strapped for cash.
Mhm.
I understand. But with something like TCM, where
Mhm.
my man gives his courses away at least a few times a year for like $1,
Mhm.
like, do not steal these courses. If you see, like, if you try giving them away to somebody for free, like, literally, you're giving it away to the general public in mass amounts. You were cutting into something that this dude put all his hard-earned time, money, blood, sweat, tears, everything went into this.
Mhm.
By doing that,
Mhm.
why will I keep giving you courses? Why will I keep making you better if you're just going to steal from me?
Mhm.
So just don't do it. Like, that bugs me more than anything else, is when you take from, I don't even care if it's OSCP, when you start taking material and instead of going through the course, downloading it for free from somewhere, that's whether it's pirated or not, or you just have a buddy that's like, oh yeah, take these PDFs. No, sorry,
Mhm.
no. Like, I have no respect for that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I agree with you. If I got in now, I agree with you, Cyber Warrior. I mean, it's plenty of free resources out here that you can take advantage of. I mean, Free Code Camp has a course on pretty much any and everything you could think of in IT. So if you don't want to support somebody, or if you really don't want to support someone, don't steal it, obviously, but go over to the free courses and take them somewhere else if it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But it's plenty of resources, just kind of like what you said, Pat. YouTube University. I've created courses. I got courses out there on like a Linux course, MySQL course, that's out there for free, 100% free if you guys want to take advantage of it. But it's I'm not the only one. I don't recommend you look at one resource either. Make sure you look into other resources, other people that are out there putting out information, and use that as well. So but yeah, get those certifications and be strategic. That's what I was going to say. I was going to add this in there. Be strategic when it comes to it. Especially if you're really trying to save money, just make sure you be strategic and work back from the job that you're trying to get into. So if this job that you're trying to get into requires this, and this, be strategic and work towards those certifications as best you can in order to get you there.
Yeah, the worst thing you could do is say, I want to get into cybersecurity. Where? What do you want to do? If you don't do your research and really figure out what you want to do, then you're going to spend thousands of dollars on a ton of different certifications. You're not going to know any of it. And you're literally going to go to a job and you're going to be shooting blind because you're not going to have a clue. Do your research. Yeah. And that's anything to do with IT. Because you can say, I want to get into IT. Well, what do you want to do? Network administration, system administration, help desk, Linux administration. Like, what do you want to do? You have to know what you're interested in. And the best way to do that is Google, DuckDuckGo, something. Start playing around in labs. Start playing with different operating systems. Start playing with different types of technology. Look at different cloud environments, AWS, Azure, GCP. You can even stand up things in there's another lab or another cloud environment out there that allow you to stand up VMs. But play with VMware, all these different things, and really figure out what you want to do. Because if you come to me and tell me you want to get into cybersecurity, or you tell me you want to get into IT, cool. What do you want to do? I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't help you.
Gets so frustrating. Yeah, well, I get personally tons of people that come to me with that exact scenario, and that's why my go-to answer is like, if you know you want to be in tech, but you don't know what you want to do, go get a help desk job. Go get an entry-level job. And everyone hates that answer. Like, I don't want to do the help desk. I won't make any money. It's boring. But on the help desk, you get a little taste of everything, and you really get to learn what you're passionate about. When I got on my help desk job, I truly didn't know what I wanted. I knew I kind of wanted networking, but I wasn't sure. Like, everyone was forcing me, trying to tell me to go cybersecurity because that's where the money is at. But I got on the help desk and rediscovered my passion for networking, and I'm like, no, I want to be a networking engineer. I want to be a network admin. So to those people that are just like, I want to be in tech, and don't know what they want to do, start somewhere where you can do it all, and then figure out your stuff as you go.
Help desk is where most of us got started. Literally, that's where I started. Kev, of course, everybody knows that's where he started. That's where you get your start, is some form of help desk, whether it's a networking help desk or a regular operating system like client support help desk, whatever it is. That's where a lot of us get our starts. And I think that's what people don't realize is they want to jump straight into cybersecurity. And yes, I myself, I'm sure Kevin, Pat, Keep It Techie, Professor Roger, even yourself, Dakota, we've all talked to people that, went straight from some other industry straight into cybersecurity. It's possible. No one's going to tell you it's not. But you may end up doing something you absolutely hate. And as somebody who has hated many jobs in his life and many duty stations and had that, my family suffered the wrath of me hating life. You don't want to end up in that situation. So you want to find out what you enjoy first. It is best to sit at a help desk for 6 months to a year, get your feet wet, really play around with everything, and then move on up and move on out, than it is to get straight into cybersecurity and you end up sitting in an analyst role when you really like GRC or you really like pen testing.
Let me rebuttal on that actually, because I do work in IT support. I worked in help desk for a while, but the thing is with me, and I tell everyone, help desk is a good place to get into if you're brand new to IT. But then I also say that it really depends on the person. It really depends what you know. It depends on a lot of scenarios. It really depends on a lot of different things. I'm not gonna recommend help desk to everyone because I know that some people don't like dealing with customers. Some people don't like people screaming and yelling at them. Right? This is just my personal experience. I've seen people skip help desk, and I agree with you. Some people do skip, help desk and go into cybersecurity. There's certain people that skip help desk and go to cybersecurity. Like, but do I recommend help desk to everyone? Like for me, it's like yes and no. It really depends where you're at in your career, what you know, what certs you have, who you know. It's very involved. So it's just like so hard for me to answer that question, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, I'll chime in.
Also,
I'll chime in for that. So, like, I guess, like with the help desk, I think the best thing to do in that regards is just like how, a buddy of mine, Devin, you guys seen him on the channel, also known as Owned. He just started IT, 7-8 months ago, right? He came from the oil fields and doing other shit. And he works for a friend of mine, like at MSP. Yes, it's a help desk, but he's helping multiple clients. He's not working for those clients. He is, but he's not working for those clients. So if God forbid he gets yelled at, which I don't think he ever did because he's the top performer there, but like if he ever gets yelled at, then he's probably not going to have to deal with that person. The owner of the place that he works at will deal with the customer saying, hey, don't be yelling at my employee, blah, blah, blah. But I think like where Kevin's coming from, he comes from hedge funds in New York. New Yorkers can be scumbags, right? They can be dicks.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and it is what it is. So they think they're fucking hot shit. They think they're the best. So like, and obviously I'm not saying this to be a dick, but answer me. I want to say it live. Were they white? Probably, right? And you're Hispanic. So there's things that go into it.
And they were entitled because they were hedge fund people, which means they had multi-billion dollars of money that they could just do whatever the fuck they wanted. So let's be honest, it really depends on when you work, because me help desk in the military and then working desktop support for, Department of Energy are completely different than like hedge fund or FANG or something like that. You're going to have different people. There's a reason I didn't work for a law firm. And it is because when I sat there and said, I'm going to do shit my way, they said, oh, lawyers don't like that. And I said, I didn't care what the lawyers like. You're going to do what I say because I'm the one running your shit. And they said, oh, no, we can't hire you. It's the way I operate, homie. You're going to do shit my way or we're not going to work. And we didn't work.
Cool.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that too. If you don't know where you're going, there's people out there that will take you for a ride. Oh, you don't know where you're going? Oh, jump on this boot camp or jump into this program that's $20,000. Well, you figure it out at the end after the check is cleared. So you want to make sure you know where you're at, because there's predators out there that will take your money.
Yep.
Right. And I guess that's capitalism, but you got to be careful, guys. So you can't just wander around with money in your pocket saying, I don't know where to go. It's like Vegas out there. You do that in Vegas, you will find out where to go very quickly. Right. And it's the same thing here. So you want to get with a mentor. You want to join a community. So that way you could get some good advice on what direction that fits you. At this time, the people that are getting in, they have a great opportunity, because when we got in, it was only help desk. That when I started, it was help desk. That's it. You figure it out from there, right? But now there's so many opportunities. There's so many different avenues that are open, right? So now you have a choice to say what fits my personality, right? I never had that choice, right? It was, you handed stuff. I was handed a firewall. That's how I learned network security, but now people can actually go for a network security job, go for, somebody mentioned in the chat, GRC, to go for that. So now you could slow it down, do a free personality test, and then match that to the job roles. I think that's what Cyber Warrior was mentioning, right? Match that to, your personality to a role, because you're going to jump in a role because someone said this is hot, and then you're not going to like it.
Look at cybersecurity right now and how many layoffs there are. Hey, we're going to be on this climb, and this is going to be a banging career field, and you're going to make millions of dollars. And how many layoffs have we had in the past, like 3 years? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'll wait.
No, but I was gonna say, guys, that if people that are watching, we all have a Discord channel and it's free, right? Why not take advantage of the free stuff? Like, go on Discord and talk to people.
I think all of us have a Discord server.
Yeah, we all have
I'm on them all.
Yeah, so
Actually, I think we're all on each other's, just kind of.
Yeah, like, why not? Why not? Like, it's free, right? Like YouTube is free. YouTube is free. Discord is free. Like, why not go and talk to people on Discord and see what they tell you and see what advice they give you? And it's absolutely free. You don't got to pay anything. It's $3. Just saying.
Yeah. I'm really concerned about getting into debt for an entry-level job.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
facts.
30, 40, 80,000 in debt and still got an entry level job. I don't think that's fair, especially in the cybersecurity realm. You don't have to do that. And especially since they're giving you free information. YouTube University has opened up the information that used to be closed, right? That used to be guarded. Now it's all free now. So for someone to offer $20,000 to give you and have you watch Professor Messer videos, that's real disservice, right? You could have just watched that at home, So that's what I'm concerned about, that people don't know where they're going, so they're going to get sold.
Sounds good. So I guess now, you want to start taking some questions, and Alex made a good point. We're going to go to Europe. There's no layoffs there. Awesome. Oh, AppSec explained. AppSec explains. But yeah, let's go to Europe. Let's go to London, mate. Cheers. But yeah, I guess we could start putting some questions up. We'll go through the questions and see, and then we'll all take a stab at it and see what's up. If there's any questions, feel free to throw it in there. And yeah. What are the top questions? I know we have
one here that was asked twice by Hugo on LinkedIn. So no one can comment back to LinkedIn unless you're actually signed in watching the feed there. But he says, as a former tech support supervisor at Amazon for 2 years, working with complex proprietary systems, which is always rough. He's looking to transition into cybersecurity. Many advise starting with help desk, but even basic starts like A+ seem essential to land the role. Advice for experienced professionals like me navigating this career change. Honestly, if you already have that experience, now I get it's proprietary, but you still have to have an underlying operating system. And at 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be Linux. So you have Linux administration. It's all about knowing how to work your resume. It's all about knowing how to work the type of systems you worked with. Certifications aren't necessarily mandatory. Now others can speak to it. I know for some of my jobs it was, but these days I know a lot of managers that are my age, Pat, like we are trying to pull that out from job recs and just make it a nice to have so that it doesn't eliminate you from being looked at. Dakota, Kev, anybody else got some advice on that one?
I was gonna say I agree with you 100%. Like, you have experience, you gotta know how to put it on your resume. You gotta know how to put it into paper. And then the other thing is, like, you don't need the thing is with me with certifications, like it's like a hit and miss. Like, you don't really need certifications. It really depends on the job and the role. People are gonna hate me for this because I know some people are like, oh, you gotta have this cert, that cert. It really depends on the job, on the role. It really depends on those things. Also depends on your experience. So yeah, just gonna say that.
I'd agree. I'm recently hiring for a position at my company, and we've removed a lot of IT certification requirements out of the position because I care more about the person's soft skills than the personality. I can train anyone on to do anything in tech, the hard skills, but what's going to come down to it, the thing I can't train is be a good communicator, be a, hard worker, be able to talk to non-technical people in a way that doesn't make them feel like you're talking down to them. I can't train that. You have to have that skill already. So when I'm interviewing people for a job, I care more if they're going to be a good fit with my team than if they actually know what they're doing. What they, it matters to a degree that, they can get their way around a CLI and stuff like that. But, I want to make sure they're eager to learn. If they're eager to learn and they have the right mentality, they're going to go places. And that's how, like, I've landed all my jobs. All my jobs have been jobs that I was so underqualified for, but every time my hiring manager came back to me and said, "Look, you weren't the most qualified person. We had people with college educations and stuff like that applying. I hired you because of your people skills, your personality, your drive, your candidness, and that's why we picked you over everyone else."
But and let me just add one more thing, because I know you guys want to say something, but let me add one more thing, because I go to the cybersecurity executive summit every year, and I get the same answer every year, and they tell me, like, can I work with you 8 to 5, or am I going to strangle the living hell out of you? That's the answer that I get from executives. Like, can I work with this person, or this guy gonna be a jerk or an asshole, right? If your personality sucks, nobody wants to work with you. That's just the reality of jobs. I'm just saying. So
Well, and that's the thing, right? So when we're looking at jobs, when we're looking at getting hired and things like that, the soft skills are the biggest things. Now, I've seen other people talk about certifications here too. Some more comments came up. Sonic profile pic guy was on my chiming in yesterday. He does make a valid point about the certs, and this is what I will say about certifications. This is what I say about anything you put on your resume. You better be able to speak to it. I don't care if it's
Yes.
certification. I don't care if it's, I have knowledge in this, whatever the case may be. Those objectives on certifications, you cannot have a certification, but you could put on those objectives that you actually know them, or which ones you do know. So for me personally, I know Python. I know how to read it. I know how to dissect it. I know error code, and I can look through and I can fix things, but I cannot write in a Python program from scratch. Doesn't mean I don't know Python. It just means I'm not a programmer. So when I sit there and put Python on my resume, I will outright tell people that. So it all comes down to what you portray. And for me, like Dakota says, people skills are the biggest things for me, because that has been how I've gotten as where I'm at in my career. I've been working for the same guy at 3 different companies. Why? Because he knows A, I can talk to anybody, I can sell ice to an Eskimo, and I can make shit happen. And B, because I can do my job. But I talked to him before I retired out of the Army. He's a fellow military veteran. We hit it off. We connected, and we were like, all right. And when he had a job open up, he goes, yo, I got you. So that networking, that being able to talk to others, this is why getting out in conferences and networking with people and getting out of this social anxiety bubble that we find ourselves in, especially because of COVID. So many people are afraid to get sick. Oh my God, I can't catch the flu. No, get out there. Get away from it at this point. If you got to wear a mask, wear a mask. I don't care. But get out there and talk to people. Let people meet you. Let people see you. And let people know who you are. Because without that, good luck. Because we are getting away from the time in a time of age where you could just be a person in the shadows behind a keyboard. Very few of those jobs exist anymore. And the ones that do, they're not gonna get you very far. You're not gonna make it very far living in the shadows, because in order to come up the ranks, you got to be able to talk to executives. You've got to be able to talk to directors. You've got to be able to interact with your managers and your teammates. And if you're not a team player, I'm not hiring you.
Mm-hmm. And that's cool, and that's good that you say that, because if we're talking about in the trenches and behind a computer in a hoodie in the dark as a pen tester, ethical hacker, or whatever you want to call them, when they talk to the client and convey that debrief or do that report, they have to speak, right? And that's where I have no problem. It's weird. I have no problem doing that, but this shit gives me anxiety. But yeah, so like just talking to a client and just debriefing what you found, that's a skill, right? That's not, you can have all the hard skills, right? The technical skills and hacking your way, around an app or AD or whatever you're hacking. And that's one thing I vouch for TCM, right? That's what I'm really looking forward to to see how not only you get to compromise a domain or whatever the exam entails, But once you're done with that, you have to present the report. I don't know if it's to Heath or maybe Alex or Zach, whoever is at TCM. I don't know. Maybe they rotate and, debrief this finding and how they were able to exploit that domain or whatever the case may be. That's pretty dope. And that's where that company sets, themselves apart versus OSCP and all the other ones that just write a report that I could have just made it from ChatGPT and sent it on their merry way, right? But at least like debriefing it, understanding what you wrote down, took screenshots of, et cetera, that's really cool. So having those soft skills and having that, not just the hacking away, is definitely ideal for this field. In IT, same thing, right? You have to maybe do vendor management if you're, Dakota, right? He's a network operations manager or director, but maybe he has to talk to Cisco, maybe he has to talk to Palo, whoever's, vendors he has on his network to maybe do renewals, EOL, end of life extensions or whatever. And he probably has to talk to some vendors. He probably has to talk to management. God forbid a circuit goes down or whatever the case may be. Not just saying, oh, let's jump into CLI and show run interface brief and then so I can see if the interfaces are up or whatever the case may be, right? So having that skill just to, is goes way beyond just being a cert hog or whatever you want to call
it. And it comes down to be able to make it when you're dealing with clients, when you're dealing with people. So let's look at it. There's two ways you're going to come up in this in IT and cybersecurity. You're either going to work for an organization or you're going to work for an MSSP. Those are really the two avenues you have.
And what is an MSSP? If people don't know what an MSSP is, what is that?
It is managed system security profession. I forget.
Provider.
Basically, you do IT / security for organizations.
Yep.
You're basically either an engineer or a consultant. You take on their workload. So you become their help desk.
Yep.
You're a third party. You become either their help desk or their SOC or their network engineers, whatever the case may be. It really depends on who you work for. Like where I work now, we could be your SOC, we could be your firewall managers, we could be your MDR, we could be your pen testers. There's a lot of things that the company I work for offers. A lot of services, patch management, vuln management. We run the gambit. So it really depends on where you work. But you come up in these organizations and you have to be able to talk to people and clients and managers in such a way that you could manage service professionals. There you go. See, got you. Thank you. And sometimes it's security services. MSP, MSSP, same thing. One has security in it, one doesn't. But you have to be able to delve into the technical without going too technical. But you have to be able to make the client happy. Your client is either the company you work for or actual other companies. And if you can't portray the information and in such a way that they realize, okay, we need to make these changes or we need to do X, Y, and Z, eventually it's going to look like you're not doing anything for them and you're getting fired. If you can't portray why you're there and the things that you're doing for them, you're getting fired. Either from an organization or because let's be honest, when things work, it looks like you're not doing your job. When things are going smoothly, what are you doing?
Right.
Why am I paying you? And if you can't reiterate that information and provide some type of back brief as to on a monthly basis, hey, these are the things we've stopped. These are the things we've done. This is da-da-da-da-da. And if you can't portray that, you're getting fired. Because why am I paying you? Because it's going to look like you're not doing anything.
Yeah, that's definitely some good stuff. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Keeper Techie wanted to say something. I know you wanted to say something earlier, Keeper Techie, but we kept cutting you.
It's all good. It's all good. Nah, y'all kind of on point with everything y'all saying, and it's really. I was just gonna add. I mean, like soft skills. Just reiterate some of the stuff you guys said. Like soft skills are important. You can have all the certs in the world. If you can't get in there and interview and explain what you know, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a position. You know what I'm saying? And so just being able to explain yourself and communicate in the best way possible that you can as a person, and also show what you know, because they're going to ask you, sometimes they're going to want to see projects you've worked on, you know, and if you're able to pull those up in those interviews and put it in front of their face, they'll be able to see, you know, that you know what you're talking about. But yeah, soft skills. That's all I was gonna add. I appreciate it.
No, that's
There was
good.
another
Yeah,
one.
soft
Yeah, I was gonna say
because
Dahi Light Reel. He said that's why, regardless of what IT field you get into, if you move up the chain long enough, the top always ends up in administration, project management, or some role where it's more soft skill than IT.
yeah, but soft skills are important. You know, I'm a hiring manager, and you know, you can have a lot of skills, which I met people that have a lot of skills, but they don't have team dynamic, and I don't want to mess up my team, you know, because then I'm in trouble. You know, if I lose key players in my team because I brought somebody on, that is detrimental. So it's very important. A lot of people haven't worked on a team before. There's some industries that there is no team, right? I mean, you know, you come as a nail technician or a truck driver, you don't even work with people most of the time. So yeah, that is very important, that you know how to work with a team, and and you're teachable and coachable. That's another problem. They're not teachable, right?
And that's well, we're seeing that, and I think a lot of that, and let's be honest, that comes from people my age. That comes from the parents my age that are bringing their kids up that aren't coachable. If you are not playing team sports and you are yelling at a coach for yelling at your kid for messing up, you have now made your kids the ones, or actually, we'll even say, actually, yeah, about my age, maybe a little bit older. You know, you're bringing up adults that now are not teachable, because now when they're screwing up, I can't teach you because you're not paying attention because you think you know everything.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, as a kid, I thought I knew everything. No matter how many times my dad told me I was wrong, I thought I knew everything. And he'd give me advice and tell me this, I'm not going to get mad if you don't take my advice, but this is my advice. Either learn or don't learn. And let's be honest, I learned a lot of lessons the hard way. I took out car notes I should have never took out. I sat there and took out loans I never should have took out. I have done things I never should have done, but my dad advised me against it. So then as I got older, I was like, man, my old man was right. I really should tell him that one day. Like, I really do need to tell him that one day. But I learned those lessons. But then things became, oh no, baby, it's okay. Look, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. Like I'll put my name on that mortgage. I'll put my name on your car note. We'll give you. You don't have to play sports. Oh, you got hurt. It's okay. Like, no, things like that. I'm sorry. You're not teaching. You're not allowing people to learn and grow. And sometimes you need to let them learn the hard lessons. I was taught hard lessons. A lot of us were. But because of that, we're not passing that on to our kids because we didn't like learning those lessons because them lessons hurt. Them lessons hurt.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true, and I guess it all depends on where you grow up too, right? I'm a firm believer in that because I have friends that never understood the way I grew up. You know what I mean? It didn't make sense to them. Like, I guess we're live, and I guess I'll go into a little bit about the neighborhood I grew up in. And if you saw if you saw my live on Thursday, there was someone in there that talked about, my neighborhood and how bad it got. I got so bad. I used to, probably Kevin knows, probably Roger knows, but I used to be able to carry a straight blade under my tongue and spit it out.
Yeah.
That's what we learned. Right. And because even to go into school, right, we used to have to go through metal detectors. So the only place that they, back then, or we used to hide a knife or something near a side of the school by a door, right? And then we have your buddy, we'll get into the school, let's go to the side and go get our weapon, just so we can bypass the
Man,
security.
y'all were dirty, man. We just used
Yeah.
fists. Y'all
No.
were bringing weapons, man. We
Yeah.
did the real man stuff. We just
Yeah, it
bringing
was-
fists the whole day.
Yeah. It was bad. You know what I mean? So the lessons are like, you never know. And growing up like that, like always thinking someone's out to get over on you, to scam you, it sucks, right? It really sucks, because it's like with my daughter, or like kids growing up, it's like, be careful because that kid might try to rob you. And it's like, fuck, like, is that the right way to even say? Because that's what I grew up with. You know what I mean? Or like, don't let them, for an example, and this is a real world example. I don't know why I want to say this, but like, I grew up, like, if someone picks on you, do something back, hurt him, right? That's the way I grew up. Now it's like, oh, go tell the teacher.
Oh, no.
You're a
that
fucking
don't fly.
rat. You know what I mean? So like, just go handle it yourself. So everyone grows up different. So maybe like what I told my child is, if someone smacked you in the head, fucking stab him with a pencil in the
Oh,
hand.
no.
Like,
If
that's
you
just
get
the way.
smacked, you smack them back, right? You
Yeah.
throw blows. We ain't.
So
Dang
it all
Pat,
depends
we
on
ain't
where you grew
stabbing
up.
people.
Yeah, it's true. That's what I do. But people have different things. Oh, go tell the teacher, so and so did something to get him in trouble. No, because that's not. I don't know. To me, I guess everyone grows up different. You know what I mean? So the lessons are learned different. So that's.
I look at it, and we do got some other good comments here, so I do want to talk about it. But I did want to say, no, like along that same lines, it's one of those things. It all depends on how you grew up, how lessons are learned. As far as my kids in school, though, all their teachers know that if anyone lays their hands on my kid, they get free reign to knock them the fuck out. And then I will freely take them to ice cream and go get some toys when they get suspended, because they will not get in trouble for defending themselves or anybody else. As long as it's in self-defense, you're golden, homie.
Exactly.
Now, if you start that, you better win, because if not, you're getting beat twice.
Yeah, that's how it was. That's how it was.
That's all it is. You're going to lose twice in a day instead of once. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But we do have some good stuff here. I did want to get back to more of the IT and cybersecurity stuff. Alonzo has here. I am an IT associate director in my company. I manage 20 engineers. Communication is the key. I do not micromanage, but I cannot allow a team to sink that can bobble.
Yes.
You can go, Roger. Do you have a comment on that?
Roger, keep going.
Oh yeah. I was saying yes. He's right. That's another thing that's lacking, and it's a field thing, right? There's a couple of things that are lacking in IT that are starting to develop. Is documentation. We suck at that, right? And communication, right? Because we was always in a silo. Now we're at board meetings. Before, when I started IT, I didn't even know who the board was. What's a board? Right? Now we're at executive meetings. We're at board meetings. We're meeting with our executive team, right? We're meeting with end users. So now communication is the key. Is a key soft skill. A lot of people don't know how to do that at a corporate level. Right? It's a whole different thing to send a corporate email and then send an email to your buddy. That's two different emails, right? So yeah, those etiquettes, which I'm starting to teach. I'm going to have classes on that this year. It's corporate etiquette, right? So that way how to send an email, how to communicate, especially in Teams and chat, where there's no what's that button you call? You send the email out by accident and you want to recall it back. I forgot the actual term of it. But
Recall.
Recall. Oh, that's what it's called. Yeah. There's none of that in Teams. This is live chat, right? So how do you communicate with your executive team that might chat you and say, hey, how are we looking at ransomware? Oh, I read your report, right? Or, this user keeps clicking on phishing emails, right? How do I answer back to that, right? In a team environment, Do I go over my boss's head? Do I communicate that with the boss? So those are the things, the corporate etiquettes I think is missing too. I see that in interviews a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that. And you know, but I also think you have to know your environment, know who you're dealing with, right?
Mhm.
So, like me talking to my boss, we're military vets, we're assholes, we talk shit on each other. It's
Oh,
just
yeah,
kind of
right.
like the shtick of what we do. So whether it's in Teams or on the phone, I'm going to be the same person to him. But we also do the same thing when we're in with our guys. Like we will talk shit to each other. That's just our teams. That's how we roll. And if you can't, like, I call my counterpart an angry dwarf. Like I like we have jokes. That's what we do. If you
Mhm.
can't take that, it does to the point of it makes it very hard. Now, would I talk the same shit to my boss's boss? I don't know him that well, so probably not. Probably not. The VP? Nah, I'm probably gonna sit there and be nice and be like, yo, homie, sir. Uh, um, so what we need to do about this is X, Y, and Z and be more professional, even though he shows up to the interview in the same shit that we all wear, which is like a baseball cap, maybe a hoodie, and when we show up to these calls and he looks just as, you know, relaxed as the rest of us, I'm still gonna be that guy to be like, so sir, we got some issues and we really need to fix them. Unlike, you know, when I'm dealing with other people and I'm like, look, dude, you're going to do shit my way. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, let me hop in there and answer a question right fast. I saw in the chat as well. And it was basically saying I'm starting a government contractor or a
Oh,
contract job in a month, but I got to get Security Plus certified. Any suggestions on best
Yeah.
preparing to pass it within 1 to 2 months? Um, I'm doing Jason Dion's whoever Udemy course. Yeah, one thing I just want to say to you, just look into as many resources as you can in order to get into it, and basically Security Plus, and I was just going to explain that to other people that may be looking to get into government contracting. Yeah, they have a what they call a 8570 requirement,
Yeah.
where you have to get specific certifications at a certain level in order to get on the government contract. I currently work on a government contract. That's why I wanted to kind of chime in on it. And yeah, just get as many resources as you can, go through the courses, also practice exams. And I know all you guys will probably say that about certifications, you know, make sure you go through practice exams so you can have the best chance of passing the certification. I don't recommend people rushing like that, but do what you can within this. Take advantage of all the extra time you have within this 1 to 2 month period that you're studying for this exam to take that test and pass it first go around.
and do not forget, do not test dump. Don't do it. There's a lot of them out there. Don't do it. Because if you understand the foundations of any of these certifications and what they teach, you'll pass the test no matter what they throw at you. If you test dump and memorize the test, by the time you're done with that test, you're not going to know the information. And I notice because I've talked to people and they've done the test dumps and then I've gone, hey, what's port 443? And they've been like, I don't know. You don't know the most basics, but yet you passed the test. Don't be
Yeah.
that guy or
Right.
girl. Just don't. Actually understand the foundations. Take the actual practice tests, the ones that'll teach you how the questions are asked. That way, when you go in and actually take the test, sure, you may not get 100, but all you need to do is pass.
Mm-hmm.
Worry about passing, not acing.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good one. And if you have 2 months, you know, it's going to be hard to really digest all that information. What I would do, because I had to do that in my earlier career, right? I had to do the CCNA, and this is real. I don't think I probably said this. I don't remember, but there was a CCNA that I needed to get for a job that I was doing, and I didn't even want to start in Cisco, but I needed to get it. So I was told I needed to get the CCNT and then the CCNA or whatever. And back then, you know, there was a lot of crams, and I was against cramming. Like I was against that because it's like, okay, if I'm going to cram, you ask me, like you said, port 443, or how do you see, your VLANs on your switch? If you don't even know how to, show VLAN brief, if you don't know that thing and you have a CCNA, you look like a moron, right? So I was like, man, but I need this because I was starting, and they said, can you get this within this time? And I was like, yeah, I think I can bang it out. And literally I had to go cram for that exam. And when I actually got onto the job, like, yeah, I was able to, thank God I had resources that I can, I had for like the first two months then when I was doing it. But it was hard, right? It was hard because I went onto this job. I passed the CCNA, CCNA in 2 weeks, right? ICND1, ICND2 in 2 weeks. And I did it. And then obviously going to the CCNP level and going on and so forth, I really started gathering more of that information. And what I did, obviously, I literally back then I had CBT nuggets, and I still have CBT nuggets, but like I was using Jeremy Chara's and Keith Walker's CCENT. It's not even up there anymore, and I had it like, so if I had to do something, I would go reference this, because this is before, literally, I probably said this before, I never used YouTube. Before 4 years ago, I never even had YouTube. I never went on youtube.com. I never looked at videos on YouTube. I never did. Like prior to that, I didn't even really know what the fuck it was. I thought it was for music. So that's true statement. So I was like, I would always use like whatever CBT nuggets or whatever other avenues I would study. And yeah, so moral of the story, don't try to cram something to get something, because you're going to be tested. Unless you have all your ducks in a row, you're going to be fucked. So yeah, don't.
Pat, I was gonna say, like, someone put it in chat, like, use Professor Messer, use Mike Myers. Jason Dillon is one resource, but there are several resources out there. Ian Neal is another resource, like Pete Zinger, I can't pronounce his name, Pete Zinger. He has a YouTube channel. There's a lot of free resources in cybersecurity, for Security Plus. Like, take advantage of it, right? Like, definitely recommend those. That was not available for me when I first started IT. I'm just saying, like, there are a lot of free resources now, so take advantage of it. So.
Yep.
So I want to mention something. It was just it's an inside joke, I guess. Someone said, "Who's going to take Pat's arms down?" And then Kevin put, "Pat's arms are cheating." If no one knows, I don't know if everyone knows, because we have multiple channels. Maybe no one even seen who I was prior to today. So at DEF CON, me and my friend James was out there, and we were standing in the line, and some kid, just random dude, it's like, "Hey, can I arm wrestle you?" Out of nowhere. And I was like, "Who the fuck is this kid?" You know what I mean? Like, who are you? And he's like, I'm like, all right. I never, I would play around back in the day, and then I literally arm wrestled this kid, and he was just saying, okay. And I was like, okay, go. And he was going with like nearly all his might, you know what I mean? All his strength. And I'm like, this dude's fucking weak. You know what I mean? Like, or unless, and I would just beat him. And then going on and on. So it was like a little, I didn't realize how strong I really was until then. And then I started facing people, and I haven't lost yet. And I think I played or arm wrestled like 41 people now, and I haven't lost. So I don't know. Maybe someone here can take me down. I don't know. But yeah, that's.
No, I'll lose. I ain't even gonna try. I'll lose.
Yeah, well, I'll see you at DEF CON, buddy.
Love you. Let's do it.
So I'll take you down.
All right. I do have something here though. It's let me get to my notifications, because it will actually tell me who the hell said it. Reload. Because I hate it. It won't tell me who said the thing. And it's still not. All right.
Let's do it.
Banning entry-level folks with 20+ resources just makes it more daunting, which we see time and time.
That's true.
Again, of like a website and a list of, here's all these resources to learn shit.
Yeah.
Core 3 resources. I don't know if I can give 3, but I think it would depend on what you want to learn.
What you want to learn.
This is your show. Who do you want to start with?
Yeah. I guess entry level. I guess we'll go with Kevin. Go ahead, Kev. Do your thing.
I was gonna say, like, it really depends where you're at. Like, my career advice is tailored to where you at. Like, do you know fundamentals? What do you know? Do you know TCP/IP? Do you know networking? It really depends what you know. And if you're entry level, then I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah. So like, learn fundamentals. Learn like about CompTIA A+ stuff. Learn about networking. learn about TCP/IP, learn about operating systems, hardware, software. It really depends, like where you at in your career. So I can't really give you an answer unless I get more information from you. That makes sense. So
Yeah. And I'm sorry, the bit of IT, Dad, you wanted to go, man?
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
for it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say go ahead, but
Oh, okay.
Um,
Nah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I go after
no,
you.
you go ahead.
I go after
yeah.
you.
Well, thank you. I'll just go ahead and go then. You know, it's difficult. It really depends. Like I get those questions all the time, and it really depends on where you're at in your career. You know, what experience you're coming from, what background. Um, the best thing I think you can do is start looking at the jobs you want and what are some of the requirements for those jobs. You know, start figuring out, you know, what those job seekers are looking for and how you can tailor your skills to be the ideal candidate for those jobs. But I say that with a grain of salt because those job listings are a wish list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Half the time those job listings are wrote for by someone who has no idea what the actual job does. They've just copied it off of some other job posting. Oh, this sounds interesting. We're gonna ask for 5 years of Rust, and like, you know, it gets me every time. So go ahead and apply for those jobs. Is what I'm getting at, because you never know when you're the most qualified candidate to apply. But um, figure out what you need to be the field expert in a way for that position.
So just
Great
to keep
advice.
the floor on you for a bit, Dakota. So like, say for let's shy away from cyber for a second and get more into the networking stuff where your bread and butter is. And now I want to get into as a network engineer in 2024. Like, what would you recommend me, and what resources would you recommend if I was, if you were coaching me? I was gonna say your coachee, whatever the fuck the word is. If you were coaching me, your student or whatever, your mentee or whatever. So, like, what would you really recommend people to get into the networking and become like a director of networking or whatever you did? So let's keep the shine on you.
You know, if you want to get into networking, you know, I think the golden certification in networking is the Cisco CCNA. I think almost everyone here will agree with me that Cisco has kind of set the gold standard when it comes to networking certifications. And I say that because almost every employer you talk to in the industry has heard of the CCNA.
Mhm.
But that is not enough anymore. I literally just did a video interviewing Keith Bogard over at INE talking about this. The CCNA is not going to help you at all get a job anymore because everyone has the CCNA. If you want that job, you have to stand out. You have to go beyond just your basic certifications. You got to build a home lab environment and start documenting that information. Build yourself a website and create a blog talking about your different lab environments and the different things you've done. Go beyond that certification into like your CCNP, where you start standing out to the employer, because employers are going to look at 100 different resumes and applications, and they're going to spend like less than 5 seconds looking at. I'm going to skim through a resume and be like, not interested, or okay, I'll put it in the pile to bring in for an interview. So you have to find ways to stand out, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to stand out. You just have to be unique and build a home lab and talk about your passions and technologies to be able to stand out and be able to land that job and work your way up the career ladder.
And now,
Awesome.
because of that,
I want to stay on that for a
real quick.
second. I want to stay on that just for 2 more minutes. So now and you're saying build a home lab, right? So I've seen InfoSec Pat, I've seen Kevin, VMware, VirtualBox, Active Directory, all that shit, right? Whatever the fuck that bullshit is, right? But I want to be a network engineer, right? So we're not going to use VMware. Yeah, we may, but we'll get into that another time. But what else would you recommend? You kept on saying home labs. So what can I do after the stream that I can build a home lab to be in GNS3, right?
Yeah, there's the GNS3. There's there's Packet Tracer, EVNG. There's all those virtualization tools out there. But if you want to be really successful and you want to become a network engineer, you need to get your hands on some physical equipment. I stand
eBay.
by that 100%. Go, and don't spend a lot of money. I built a complete home lab off of eBay for $100. You buy some used Cisco like Catalyst 2600 series router. You buy 2 of those. You buy one like Catalyst 3500 series switch. And I've broken this down multiple times on my YouTube channel. I have like a tutorial on how to build your own home lab. Go build that home lab environment, physical lab, because it is one thing to practice this stuff in like Packet Tracer, GNS3 and stuff, but it's something totally different to make your own patch cables and feel that click into the switch. And then don't just build a home lab and keep it isolated, heating your living room. Force yourself to use it. Connect your home internet connection through your lab, because I can guarantee you there is nothing more stressful than having your 3-year-old not being able to go watch Bluey because you took down the internet. That's the most real
the best
shit
thing
ever.
You can do is get the commander of the house, which is your youngest child, to piss off because they can't access the internet.
Your manager, right? That's your manager saying,
I mean, that's as close to a real world scenario you can get without actually doing the job.
And I love that, and I'm a firm believer in that too. And even if obviously this all comes to budget, right? And I guess now with budget, if you have T-Mobile, you go get, like, I have an extra T-Mobile internet service right now for like $50 a month, and I have a firewall on it, and I have routing, I have OSPF, and all this stuff. But this is not really about that. And I got it all set up, and I'm routing, and that's more of my, like, I want to create CTFs and hacking labs over there. So I can give I can use a dynamic DNS, and I can give CTF dot let's have fun.com or whatever, and then you can go over there, not touch anything behind me. And I really, really like that. And the reason why I like what you said, Dakota, is because I had a friend, and
Wait, you have friends, Pat?
Yeah, I got a few friends. I whacked them all, but no, I'm just kidding. Only the ones that fuck me over. But so I have this buddy that he went for a CCNP, right? And he got a CCNP route switch before it was enterprise, right? And he never did physical. Everything was GNS3, EVNG, CML, Cisco modeling labs, and all that stuff, right? Sandboxing and all that stuff. He went into an IDF at work, and he didn't know what the uplink was in a physical switch. So when you have an MDF, which is your main, I forget what MDF
main distribution facility.
Yeah, and then you have your IDF, which is your little ones, like your little closets in your building, and usually that uplinks to your MDF, right? And one of the switches got out of whack and whatever, so he had to fail over and all this other stuff. So he didn't know where to actually plug in the cable because he never really physically touched anything yet, but he has a CCNP, right? So there's that disconnect when you actually take the physical wire, you plug it into your laptop, you have your console cable, you're doing, TTY lines and everything, configuring it from scratch, because it's a different feel, and it definitely closes some gaps. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And
I have a
Can I ask the
because they were talking about he talked about the CCNA and Network Plus or CCN anyways, and going for the CCNP. But I still like to look at things from a baseline level, right? The foundations of what people should know. I had my CCNA. I feel like, personally, now I would love to hear everybody's opinion on this. Is the CCNA better overall? I get it, it's vendor specific, but I think the underlying network information and education it gives you, I feel it's better than the Network Plus.
100%. Hands down.
Yeah. We agree. We all agree.
I was gonna say, like, not to cut you, Derek. Like, for me, like, what I advise for someone typically for Network Plus, like, I typically tell someone to go over, look at Network Plus, read that, get information on that, and then go to CCNA. So then they're actually well rounded and they actually understand what's going on.
Yeah, because to me, the CCNA taking that taught me, yes, you learn the vendor specific shit like eGrip and certain things and CLI commands, but routing, switching, subnetting, like all of the foundations of networking are still in the CCNA. You just get a little bit more advanced shit when you get the
Yeah.
Cisco topics. So to
Right.
me, the way CCNA was always taught was always better than Network Plus. Like just they taught everything plus Cisco versus just foundations. And I that was just my opinion.
The Network
Yeah, and
Plus
Dakota,
is
I want
for help desk.
no, Professor, go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Josh.
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
Network Plus is for help desk. CCNA is for network administrators or network engineers, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to help desk, I need to know the foundational networking knowledge. And CCNA is a little too high for me, but Network Plus is perfect. I'll learn the basics, right? Which Cisco had a basic exam. I think they got rid of it, which was the CCENT.
But they have
Right.
the CCT, Cisco Certified
Yeah.
Technician.
Yeah, they have a level below CCNA now still.
Yeah, it was CCENT. You had CCENT 1 and CCENT 2. After CCENT 2, you were CCNA certified. But I think they still have CCENT 1.
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
not CCENT anymore. I think they took away ICND 1, ICND 2, I think 4 or 5 years ago now. Once
Yep.
they went to the
Yeah.
one exam only, time's flying. I think it was like 5 years now.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
dude. I
I
got
think
that.
I think it's a
years ago.
CCT. I think it's a CCT, Cisco Certified Technician, then CCNA, and all that. You're not required, and also Cisco removed all their prerequisites. Like if today I wanted to go get my CCIE, which is the top level exam, I don't need any of the shit below that. I can just go and
bullshit. Because that was my original goal was to get CCIE, but I had to go through all the levels.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't afford that shit. No, not gonna happen.
Yep. You can go straight for your CCIE now. I would never do that because I would fail. I mean, I am not
but
I do not know enough shit.
First attempt in learning, man. You'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly.
$1,600 later.
Yeah. But anywho, yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah, and
Josh.
Dakota,
You've had something.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you something, Dakota. Actually, and it kind of ties in all the questions Pat was asking. But back to the cert right fast, which I was just talking about the certs. I still recommend Network Plus for anyone that's not going into networking. Still get that Network Plus because networking is used throughout all areas of IT. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand some aspect of networking. You know what I'm saying? So Network Plus is a good generalized so you can get the base level understanding of networking, you know, topologies and all that stuff. So, but back to the did you want to add to that?
I was going to say real quick, Bush Joe just said keep it tech. He needs to come out with his own cert.
Nah. Nah.
That's a lot of pressure.
That's a tough one, man. Nah.
Do you see the comment on why I
have to
say
be
that?
recognized in the
cyber
industry.
search and Linux. Keep it techie. Come out with your own cert. Make it cyber. You'll be good.
Yes.
So before I forget, Dakota, crap. So how does all the base level CCNA and because like I was going down that route to become a network administrator, but I just didn't get past Network Plus. I end up hopping into another area of IT. So how is all of that CCNA and all this other training? How is it applying to the cloud nowadays? Because I know the cloud is totally different.
Yeah, no, that is a good question. And Cisco does have, so they have their basic CCNA, which is they used to have like different versions of CCNA. Now they just have CCNA. When you get past your CCNA and get up into the CCNP level, Cisco Certified Network Professional, they have different, I forgot what they actually call them, like tracks. And I do believe they have one that focuses more on cloud. I don't remember off the top.
I think CCNP data center. But
data center,
But data center is more like networking in your data center, right? It's more like Nexus switches.
I would also look at the fact though that for when it comes to networking, you should go, especially when you're looking at the cloud, look at the cloud specific certifications, Azure, AWS, GCP, because of the fact that when it comes to networking doesn't change. Your ports are all the same. The way things communicate is all the same. You have a virtual firewall. right? So it's a virtual
Mhm.
firepower or a virtual Palo
Switch.
Alto, but it's still essentially that same concept. So it's
But
just a matter of knowing that underlying infrastructure. So you're going to use Panorama or Forta or Forta Cloud or Cisco's version of whatever
Mhm.
to configure them. But you have the cloud behind it that where you do your ACLs, your NCLs, your everything, your whole subset comes from the cloud itself, and the firewalls and the
the,
switches and routers,
yeah,
it's all the same.
the biggest thing to remember, everyone's like, oh, the cloud, the cloud, the cloud. The cloud is just someone else's data center. That's all it is. Like, it is the exact same thing as what you have, but it's just in a different location. So, people are like, oh gosh, network's going to go away. It's all going to the cloud. What do you think connects everything in the cloud? It's all connected, has its own network. So those skills you learn from CCNA and stuff, you're still going to be able to apply those to cloud networks because you're still going to have to configure the network in the cloud. So the cloud is just someone else's data center. Someone else owns the equipment. And I don't think, with COVID and stuff, we saw a huge push to the cloud. Everyone pushed through everything up in the cloud because it needed to be reachable from everywhere. Now that things have settled back down, I think we're going to see more of this hybrid infrastructure where you're still going to have your on-premise network, but you're going to have also a cloud network that are interconnected, communicating with each other. So, as in everything in tech, it's just going to be constantly evolving. And the people that are going to be the most successful are going to be the ones that'll learn to evolve and adapt to it.
Mhm.
That goes with all these other new technologies as well, like AI and machine learning. You can tell the people that are going to be successful because they're utilizing those as the tools they are. And the people that are not going to be successful is the people that are throwing their hands up saying, AI is going to do it all. There's no future in tech. Those are the people that are not going to go anywhere in this career and lose their jobs. But
And
the people
you
who are,
always need people. You
yeah,
always need the human.
Yes.
Until people
exactly.
realize that AI cannot do everything.
Yeah,
Oh, what? No
100%.
Skynet? No Skynet is going to happen?
Oh no, Skynet's going to happen. Don't get it twisted. The robots are going to take over, but but you need that human intervention. And I'm sure in Dakota, I will get back to you. But when you look at all this automation and things people want to put in place, let's take for instance, you put in playbooks and things like that. Hey, if I get malware on X, Y, and Z or this specific malware, cut off all connection. Well, guess what you just did? You brought down your entire domain because I don't know, something on the that has outside access got, a little bit of a ding that potentially, possibly, we don't know for sure, might be malware. You now brought down your entire network. Entire network. Why? Because you implemented automation without any human intervention to validate whether or not you should trigger this event. Automation can only take you so far. You still need
Yeah.
human intervention to be able to look at these things and evaluate. Same thing as writing Terraform code for your cloud infrastructures or Ansible or anything like that. It still requires human intervention to write and design these things. I don't give a damn how good people
Yeah.
think GPT is and all this other shit. Guess what? You still need a human to look at it, because if I were to sit there and write a LinkedIn post using Chat GPT, I'd venture a guess a good percentage of people on LinkedIn right now could tell me I wrote that through Chat GPT. Just saying.
Well, AI is artificial intelligence. You have to train it from somewhere. Where's it getting trained from? It's getting trained from us, the humans. It's only it only can be as good as we are. It's not going to continue to develop and move forward in the industry.
So true. But also too, the cloud is software defined networking. So Cisco has apps on software defined and scripting and stuff like that on a whole infrastructures now. That's how a network engineer in the cloud works. He works with scripts.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, so I just wanted to chime in because it's almost 3 o'clock my time, and I think I just made this for like 2 hours. And because I thought an hour would, obviously, we've seen that it was going to be too soon, not enough time, since we have 6 of us on, and we have the cyber warrior that doesn't shut up. He loves to talk. But yeah, I guess for the next 10 minutes or so, I guess we can just take some of the questions. And this thing been going bonkers. I've been watching on this screen. I can't keep up.
Right.
So kudos, thank you so much from all the platforms that have been, we hosted this, we streamed this. Hopefully everyone has a good year. And AppSec, I want to put this out there. Yeah, we can arm wrestle. I'll have him on in a few weeks, or a couple weeks. He works at TCM. He does all the application security, and that's a place that I really want to speed up with and pick his brain. So I'm super grateful to have him on in a few weeks, and for him to allow me to have that time with him. So thank you, Alex. I really appreciate you. And still waiting for arm wrestle. Yeah. I'll arm wrestle Philip Wiley. I'll arm wrestle whoever. And it was funny.
Phil's gonna whoop your ass, Pat. I'm just gonna let you know.
But it's not about, and it's funny because I went to the gym this morning, right? And I went to the gym with a friend, and he made because there's this one guy that goes around the gym, not my gym, like on YouTube or whatever, that says, "Oh, I'm a cleaner." I think he's like Arabic or something. He wears
that guy,
fucking strong as shit. He's not huge, but he's really.
Are you talking about the dude that looks like tiny as shit but lifts more weight than everybody in the fucking gym? Seen that guy? Dude walks in like a janitor, picks his weight up like,
yeah.
All right, homie, I'm out. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He's actually a bodybuilder. He's a real bright body.
Yeah,
that's why he wears the baggy clothes, so you can't see his body.
Exactly. And my friend Marcio, I'm surprised he didn't chime in today, but he was like, "Oh, we should do that, but at the gym and arm wrestling folks." And just because I want to put this out there, because people think because you're big and have big muscles means you're strong. This means you could stick a needle in your ass, right? So don't think because someone has big arms or someone's huge that they're strong, because I've beat 300-pound guys that they couldn't move my arm. So it's not about how strong, big you are, how jacked you are. It's just about a technique. And if you have strong wrists, because arm wrestling is more about the technique. And I'm learning.
Dakota's going to whoop your ass. That's what's going to happen, Pat. Dakota's going to come over there and whoop your ass.
Yeah.
This is all padding. This isn't muscle. There's a reason there's the dad in my YouTube name. I'm rocking that dad bod.
Dude, I lost about 30. I lost about 20 pounds because I was getting a little hefty, and I was like,
No, I seen you going to the gym, fucking posting the progress, dude. It definitely came a long way.
It did, and then my back went out again. Yeah. So next year, that's my goal, is to get back into it. Hopefully, eventually, maybe, if I can get out of my own fucking head. But we'll see.
Yeah. Don't let that be that's your own prison. But if there's any questions for like the next 10, 15 minutes, because I want to be respectful of everyone's time. It's what is today, Saturday? And it's Saturday afternoon, at least for me, and obviously some morning.
Pat, you don't want to go live 24/7? Come on, man.
Fuck that. Yeah.
Dude, one of these days,
streamathon.
My wife will probably kill me, but I should do a 24-hour stream just to see how much money I can make and give back. Because every dollar I'll make, I'll give to like some charity or some bullshit. Like I should really do that one year.
Man, after like right now, because I have, just like you, I have a bad back. I broke my coccyx bone about 10 years ago. So me sitting more than an hour, like I'm getting antsy already. I'm gonna be honest.
That's why I stand, homie.
Yeah. So,
you need a standing desk, Pat.
Yeah, I do have a standing desk, but the way I have my cable set up, I'm like weird. You know what I mean? Like I have OCD, so everything has to be very in a certain position. So now if I, raise my desk, my cables start disconnecting everything. So I can't even touch it until I put a little more slack. But if I have slack, then it's like starts hanging. Then if I put my leg under, I kick it. That's fucking.
Can you do my cables, Pat? Because my OCD hasn't kicked in for my cables. I look at them and go, "Fuck it."
So we'll take some questions, and
we got one.
D, if you want to throw him up there, I don't know if he's even there.
Then Pat lifts his desk, and his mic stops working. Then we got to call help desk. He disconnects, reconnects 40 times.
So let's see what these questions. Network Plus or and then CCNA. Yeah, that's the way I would do it. So everyone has their opinion about Network Plus and CCNA. So obviously I have both of them. So the Network Plus will give you that fundamental knowledge that the CCNA won't, right? The CCNA will not teach you how to create cables 586B, 586A, white, orange, white, green, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown, right? That's the color combination for an Ethernet jack. So like that won't teach you that. That won't teach you how to patch in a patch panel and run cables and doing all like the network technician type stuff. And so there is definitely some, some information that you can gather from the Network Plus transitioning to the CCNA. So I would get I would get Network Plus then CCNA, because if you jump from CCNA and go backwards, I think, I don't know. I wouldn't. That wouldn't be my
I'd preface that
Once
with,
you get the CCNA, you don't need the Network Plus.
I wouldn't even get the Network Plus. I don't recommend, in all honesty, I don't recommend anyone get the Network Plus. I recommend you learn the stuff from the Network Plus. Don't waste your money on the certification and then go dive into the CCNA.
Fair enough.
I agree.
Fair enough. Like, I guess like back then I took my Network Plus. I don't have my cards anymore. They're upstairs. I think 13 years ago now. And I took my A plus in 2006. So yeah, 2006. So yeah, I'm old.
But there's some there are some help desk jobs that ask for A plus Network Plus.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you go above it, then they can get bent. That's the way I've always looked at it. If I got something above what you're asking for, get bent. I'm not getting the lower certification. Yeah. One of the first networks here, the first networking certification I ever got was CCNA. I never got a Net Plus. I never got an A plus. I had some Microsoft certs, and like I literally was the only one in my school district in high school to get Office 2000 Master certified. But but the CCNA was like the first legit cert I got, and I've never looked back. Like I will never go and downgrade myself because somebody's asking for the downgraded certification. If you can't, if you don't know your shit well enough to know that the CCNA is better, I'm sorry, I don't want to work for you. I just don't.
I was gonna say something though. Sorry guys, I was gonna say that for me, like my advice for you would be, if you have a job already, like I would let your employer pay for it. Like, it doesn't make any sense for you to pay for it, right? If you're working right now and you have certifications and they're willing to reimburse and pay you, I would definitely recommend you have them pay for your certification. So you're studying and you get certified. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and another note on that is, don't wait to get a job. Don't wait to get a job till you have all these certifications. You don't need any of these certifications to land that entry level job. At most, the A plus. You don't need anything more than an A plus to land your first job in tech. And then, so that in theory, you should only pay for one certification ever in your life, and your employer should pay for all your other certifications after that. If you do,
man. The boot campers are gonna come get you, man.
Hold on, no, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Don't do it. Yep. Look, you have two options to make it in IT and cybersecurity: school of YouTube, right? Build your own labs, learn how to build a resume. Actually, three. Go into debt by going to college and boot camps and shit like that, and getting your certifications and degree. Or go in the military, right? Those are your three options for getting into IT and cybersecurity. Military, we're not going to agree, disagree, doesn't fucking matter. However you want to look at it, they will pay for everything. They will pay for all of your certifications. They will pay for all of your degrees. They will pay for everything you need to do. Love it, hate it, it doesn't matter. It literally is one of the things that will change your life. You'll make shit pay initially. Let's be honest. You make pennies on the dollar to be in the military. But you have a free education that when you decide to get out in 6, 8, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever the case may be, you got a whole career ahead of you that is literally your ticket is written for you.
But the caveat,
know how to write a resume.
But the caveat to that is, when you do join the military, make sure you tell them recruiters you want to go into IT, because they're not going to pay for those certifications if you're working as an infantryman. You're not going to get sent to,
I had
A
a fight
plus
for mine.
school, yeah, A plus training on all that stuff. They're not going to give you those vouchers at all. So you had to go. What is it? 25 series.
In the
25.
Army, it's 25 series.
Yeah, in the
in the
Army.
Air Force, Air Force and Navy will put you directly into your job field. So you'll end up in a career field. If you go in there telling you want to do IT, they'll go in there and put you in their IT, cybersecurity, whatever the case may be. You'll get those certifications. Army and Marines, you are always a soldier or a Marine first, or rifleman first, whatever they want to call it. Your job doesn't necessarily matter, but you still tell them you want to do IT. So 25 series, which is Signal.
Yep.
17 series, which is offensive security, so hacking and pen testing. And then you have 35 series, which is MI. So you could do those in the Army. I don't know what the Marine career field equivalents would be.
And another thing about it, you gain invaluable experience. Most people say, "Oh, I got the certs, but I don't have any experience." That's one thing you'll get in the military as well. Yeah, you'll be a rifleman. Yeah, you'll be a whatever, first, but you'll gain the experience of actually working on the military's network throughout your career. So just saying.
No, I was gonna say, Derek, you said 3 options. I mean, for me, it's 4 options actually. The 4th one is gonna be, because we live in the United States, right? So the 4th one is gonna be Proscola's, Empower, Bird America. There are actual nonprofit organizations that actually give you certifications for free and do resume writing and actually make you go into like job recruiters and stuff like that. And then you could also, if you're African American, you could join Blacks in Cybersecurity. If you're Hispanic, you could join Raíces Cyber. They do free certification training. Like if you're a female, there's Women in Cybersecurity. So there are free training out there for anyone that's reaching out. Like the United States, we have a lot of free stuff available. You just got to look out for it, if that makes sense.
I want to add on to what Keeping It Techie was talking about his experience. Anyone says that it is too hard to get into the field because they don't have experience is being lazy. I'm just going to come out flat out and say it. There is plenty of opportunities, no matter which one of these paths you take, to get experience. Whether you're volunteering for like a local church or a nonprofit organization, you're building your home lab. Everyone can build experience no matter which one of these paths you decide to take. So people are like, "Oh, I can't get this job because they want 2 years of experience." Well, what are you doing sitting on your butt still? Go out and build your experience. You'd be surprised that you're probably more qualified for that job than you give yourself credit for. So, yeah.
No, I agree. And I want to add on that too. And I don't really talk about this, but it's like people with disabilities as well, right? Like people have, and I have a disability. I don't really talk about this, but I do, right? This is probably the first time I'm coming out, and people don't believe it. People don't think of it. People, I have friends that I went to school with in college and like, oh, like I want to do this, but I think I'm too retarded, or too stupid or whatever the word is, and people are like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I'm the prime example. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of success in the field. I have a lot of, qualifications, and I came up, living with something that I'm like, fuck, am I going to ever be something? You know what I mean? So never let anything like, limit you, because that's only in your head. Just like how Derek said about going to the gym, right? That's in his head, right? Like it's his own self prison. So it's like, don't ever compare yourself to the next bloke. You know what I mean? Like, don't be like, oh, like this guy is this guy is that. Like, and I used to do that. Like my younger days when I was playing hockey, I'm like, man, I'm not as fast as this kid. I'm not as fast. So I need to start running faster or whatever the kid, or skating faster, whatever it is. Until you find out it's like, okay, the only competition you have is yourself. So if you just keep to that, like fucking you versus you, that's all it is. Like that's what that's what I did with myself from this year, for example, for YouTube and my career, and how I'm going to be next year. You know what I mean? So always face yourself. So,
and I want to look. All right. So I know we're well past, Pat. This is your show. You're probably going to want to do whatever. But I did want to touch on that because that is one of the things I've talked about heavily. Never compare yourself to somebody else, because your day 1 is somebody else's day 1,000. Mm-hmm. Your day 2 is somebody else's day 10,000. Mm-hmm. You compare yourself today to yourself yesterday, to yourself the day before. You only ever compare yourself to yourself, and you're only ever challenging yourself to yourself. I know
Mhm.
what my issues are. I know what I deal with on a daily basis. We all
Mhm.
have our own issues, our own struggles, our own fights, our own wars within ourselves that we deal with. There is no reason to accentuate and make that matter worse by making a war with somebody else. I
Mhm.
can sit here and get upset all day at the fact that Pat, Kev, Keep It Techie, the Bearded IT Dad, everybody else has more numbers, does more things, makes more money, whatever the case may be, does all these things that I don't do. But the fact of the matter is, as long as I am doing better today than I was yesterday, that
Mhm.
is what matters to
100%.
me.
And
Because I
that's
do
so true,
things
Alex.
So
differently.
true.
And that's
So
true. Like comparison is a the theft of joy. Like
Yeah.
it's true, and just like uh, it is. You're right about that because and just like you said, you know what I mean. And I used to say that too. For example, on YouTube when I first started, I'm like, I didn't know how to do YouTube, but I knew the technology and I knew the technical aspect of how to do it. For example, routing, switching, ASA firewalls, firepower threat defense, and all these different technologies that I set up in Sandbox. But I didn't know how to convey that on a YouTube channel. I didn't know how to make videos and look pretty in a camera. But I knew a lot of about technology than a lot of YouTubers. I'm like, how the fuck are they doing it? I can do it, but I just didn't know how to put myself out there. Right. So it's like,
you look pretty, Pat. We love you.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
this fucking guy.
You
Yeah.
sure do look pretty now.
Yeah. And not you make me blush. Don't make me blush on camera. But no, and go for it. Yeah, so I just want to, I don't even know what the fuck I was saying, but basically, I just
Got
want
you all
to,
Twitter pated.
yes, I just got to say, yeah, exactly. And no, and obviously, yeah, I want to respect everyone's time. I know Dakota had a little announcement. I remember you can say that, and I guess I have a little announcement as well for 2024 next year, next month or a couple days. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. So the giveaway is one of these Sting boxes. So one of these guys, and I'm going to be making a walkthrough video on what the Sting box is and all that stuff. So
Nice.
the Sting box is a honeypot. It's an IDS device. So you stick this into your network, and if there's anyone in your network or any new devices that are, on your network, you will be alerted on that. So we'll get more into it. Like I have one on my test network, and sometimes I'll try to SSH or do something from the outside into a server that I have sitting on that network and to make sure it records. And I'm testing it out. I'm like a beta tester for this company. So I'm going to be making a video in a few weeks, maybe next week or so, to set it up, convey about it, talk about it, and all that good stuff. So be on the lookout, and I'll be doing a giveaway in about 2 weeks. And yeah, that's my announcement for the next couple of weeks. And
Keep
I really
talking.
want
I don't keep talking. I don't have mine ready yet.
to. So
I totally forgot to get mine ready. Hold on.
yeah, so
Keep going.
you can share your screen and do whatever you need to do if you have to showcase it. But obviously I did a Flipper Zero giveaway at 50,000 subscribers, and that was pretty fun. And that's why I forgot who told me about the automated way. I think it was someone on I think someone on Instagram, because I was like literally collecting everything. See, this is how like old I am, right? Like I was collecting everyone's names and putting it into like a wheel,
Yeah,
like
the wheel.
yeah, the wheel of fame, wheel of fucking whatever it is.
Yes.
And then like the day of, I just clicked that fucking thing. And wherever it landed, I like reached out to the like really old school shit. It's like paper and pen. I still have a paper and pen right here. But so yeah, so now I was like, man, how can I automate this and like get the emails, get something so when it automatically draws it and it's like easy peasy. I don't have to deal with that shit. But yeah, so that's
So
pretty much mine. Go for it.
absolutely. So I talked about it earlier. Over on my YouTube channel, every year I do like a holiday training giveaway. This year I did the 25 days of Christmas, and every day from December 1st to the 25th, we did a giveaway. And
Nice.
I want to also continue to give to the community. So I am actually donating a 1-year premium annual learning subscription to INE, which is an online e-learning platform worth like $750. So I just dropped the link in my chat, and I think we're dropping it across the other ones. You can go there and sign up for your chance to win a 1-year INE learning platform subscription. INE has been a great brand. I've worked with them every single year of this holiday giveaway, and I think it's a great resource out there. So if you guys are interested, click on that link to enter the giveaway.
Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead, Derek. Always got to say something. Go
Well,
ahead.
no, it's because I look, I had to go through the different feeds, and I found something on LinkedIn that I did not see in the chat, and it's because it is missing from this stream. And so I know I saw Amber Devil Bliss chime in a little bit earlier about some of the things she was doing. There was a question, and it was, any advice for women in this space? Now, I have had many women on my show. There's many women I'm connected to: Erica Eakins, Natalie Baker, Meryl Vernon, Amber Devil Bliss. There's so many others out there that are women in cyber jitsu. So many great groups out there that can help women kind of feel like they belong. And I think that maybe what you're thinking of and really where you think you could fit in. And understand this. My advice is don't be less than what you are. That is my advice. Don't let anybody tell you you are less than what you are. If you are a badass, hard ass that's going to come in with an attitude and tell people and just kick ass and take names, do it. And if somebody doesn't appreciate that, guess what? Go find somewhere else you're appreciated. Go find somewhere else that is going to accept you for who you are. Because if somebody came into my organization and came into me and was like, hey, look, this is how I think we should do X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to ask you why. And if you can give me an answer why, then all right, cool, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's make big things happen. Let's make money. Let's make big moves. I'm all for it. If a company isn't willing to listen to you, then it's because they don't understand you and you need to find a new role. Don't let anybody tell you you're less than what you are, and go find these great organizations. They're going to be out there to support you. Another one is Hacker in Heels. Stacy Champagne is absolutely amazing. Go find her. She'll hook you up also. So many great groups, so many great women out there that if you're looking for help as a woman in cyber, get out there and get it. There's nothing that can stop you but you.
Yeah, and the cyber queens, they're all awesome. Like you said, you mentioned all of them. We don't have to repeat the names. But I think women in cyber, whatever. I don't think anything should be blacks in cyber, Hispanics in cyber, whites in cyber, this in cyber. Like, we're just in cyber. I don't know. Like, that's just the way I think. I don't like that whole shit. That's just me, because that's like dividing us, right? That's like saying, okay, you have to be this to be over here. You have to be that to be over there. Like, why can't we just all be one? That's just my shit. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up like that. You know what I mean? Like, I did grow up in an area that only this person or these people are allowed on this corner. If you go over there, you're not allowed. And it's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that. Like, I grew up
with friends that were like, "Oh, I'm from J Block. You can't come over to K Block."
Yeah, and I agree with you, Pat, on that. You know what I'm saying? It should be just, we're all in cyber or whatever. But I think a lot of times when people do that, it's just to show that certain groups that are not highly represented in that area, to put them out there or put a face on it, and just saying, hey, we are in cyber too, and you can do it too, for that little black girl that doesn't know that she can do that, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, Hispanic or whatever, that you can do that as well. And so I agree with what you're saying, though. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to add that caveat, because I think it is important in certain.
I agree with Kiviteki. I agree with Kiviteki because I get that a lot when I make YouTube videos. Like, it's good to see an Hispanic actually make videos on YouTube. I can relate to you because you're Hispanic, and we get that same with you, Kiviteki, because you're African American, right? So it's like, okay, if he could do it, I could do it too. So sometimes it's those things as well. I do agree with that. So
but I guess, like, I guess because my aunt is Jamaican, you know what I mean? Like, I have different, like, my own, back home, my aunt married a Puerto Rican guy. So everyone is like all mixed, right? My daughter is Indian. right? Her mom is Indian. So it's like, I'm not going to be like, oh, this is a little Indian girl. That's a little black girl. They're all little girls, right? Like, I don't know. That's the way I see it. Because I don't want to teach Valentina, oh, that, you know, she's a black girl, or she's a Spanish girl, or she's an Indian girl. No, she's your friend. She's a little girl, just like you.
Yeah,
so,
and I see it the exact same way. I
Mhm.
get exactly what you're saying. I see the exact same way.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, it's true.
wanted to let you know I
I
agree.
think that conversation is good to have sometimes, right? And because there's a lot of that. I've seen it. I keep my shit on the DL, right? Like Eminem, right? He listens to all the rappers, upcoming rappers, and then he comes out with a diss song. But you know, it's just like
He listens to them all and then just disses them. Fuck it.
yeah,
You know
just
what?
disses them all,
Fuck you.
or he gives them credit, right? Whatever. But yeah. So yeah, me too. Literally, it's like 15 minutes. So I went, Dakota went. So anything you want to say, Derek, besides what you've
No,
already
I
said?
mean, really, for me,
Close
it
out.
just comes down to the fact that look, one, everyone belongs. We all belong here. We are all family. We all want the same thing. We all want security. And look, I'll be the first one to tell you, I have a huge distrust of huge multi-conglomerate fucking organizations. But this is our job. This is what we do, and this is what we love to do. We love breaking into shit. We love fixing shit. We love partially fixing shit because once we broke it, we don't know really how to put it back together again. But that's the hacker's mindset. That's kind of what we do. We take things apart and we try to figure out how to bring it back together. But any one of us is there for everybody else. We absolutely love you all. Reach out to anybody. You don't have to sit there and let's be honest, and this is where I'll be honest. If you're looking for someone to look like you because you want to feel like you belong, or you think nobody else is doing the same thing, then be the first. Be the first. Be the first one to do something. Be the first one to break into something. Be the first one to write a certain program. Be the first one to do something. Be the first. Don't be afraid. Because the moment you let that fear control you, the moment you let someone tell you you can't do something because of X, Y, and Z, and you give them that power, you've screwed up. Because now you've taken your life out of your own hands.
Yeah.
Take control of who you are. Take control of your destiny. Take control of your fate. Be the first. Be the first one to write the best program in the world. Be the first one to develop the best automation for a car. Be the first one to develop the best automation for something. Be the first one to develop the best MDR or the best EDR or the best whatever. Be the first. Be the one that sets yourself apart from everything else. Because when everybody else tells you no, you tell yourself yes. You can do it. 2024 is a brand new year, and we got it coming up in about 2 days. Go out there, make big things happen, and be the best that you can be, and be better than everything else that everybody ever said you could be.
Awesome. Good. Roger, any closing statements? Anything that you want to share? What's going on? If you want people to know where to find you and all that fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
YouTube channel, Roger. Sorry.
Yes, I know. I gotta get a YouTube channel like you guys, man. I'm on Discord. But I want to this year, I want us, especially us six, to collaborate more on each other platforms, do more stuff together, because we're all on the same mission. Why not us help each other? So I'll open it up. If you guys got anything going on, I would love to, help you out, on your platforms. You got classes you're teaching, I could be your co-teacher or whatever, right? Because, just us doing it alone, yeah, we can have a big reach, but I think us doing it together, we could reach more and don't burn ourselves out, right?
Awesome. Thank you for that. And Josh, any last things? Then we'll go to Kevin and wrap it up.
Yeah, my last thoughts. No, I appreciate you letting me on for this, Pat. This was an awesome experience. Good to talk to all you guys. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely need to keep things going. As far as collaborating or working together, because we all pretty much had the same goals. You know what I'm saying? And my channel. Hopefully it grows a little more, but just what was I gonna say? I'm kind of
Take your
lost what
time,
I was
man.
gonna say. um Crap. I forgot what I was gonna go to. It was something dealing with crap. Never mind. Just come back to me.
All
I
right.
know you finna close it out, but
Yeah,
if
so
I
we'll
think
go to
of it,
Kevin and go
I'll
back
hop
to you, and
back
then we'll
in.
close it out. So go ahead, Kev. Any last words? Anything you want to say?
Yeah,
Any fun stuff? And
I was gonna say, like, you got like just what Derek said, you belong in IT. When I first started my job, when I first started getting into IT, I got a lot of hate on Reddit. So when I was brand new to IT, I went and asked for help on Reddit, and people would pick and bully me and treat me like shit when I first started getting into IT, and I didn't get any positive feedback, and I failed my CompTIA A+ twice in a row, and I got destroyed because I didn't know anything about IT. Then I did it again. I passed my exam, and fast forward, I've been in IT for over 9 years, and I created my YouTube channel to share what I know, to share my success, to share my failures. I will share. I'll keep it real, just like Pat. Like, I share my failures and my success. And yes, you do belong in IT. Just find your community. There are communities out there. Don't be an island. What Professor Mike Myers says when I interviewed him, he's like, don't be an island. You have to go and reach out to people. You have to put yourself out there, see who knows you, and talk to those people. Like, reach out to people, go to conference events, go to B-sides, right? Just talk to people and see what happens. Put yourself out there. And I'm saying that you definitely belong in IT. And like I always say, like, I'm a little religious, right? Like, I'm a religious person too. So like, I would say God is good, and it got to put me with people for a reason. Like, God put me to be live with Pat for a reason. God put me with the people that are here for a reason. So I'm always a positive person, no matter what happens. It's just the way my mindset is. I always keep it positive, and that's just how I am. And that's my advice for everyone here. That's it for me.
awesome. Thank you, Kev. And go back to Josh, and we'll
Yeah.
close it out.
I remember what it was. So the reason I brought up my channel was basically saying that a majority of what I talk about on my channel is Linux. I think it's important for people to learn Linux. It's used in all aspects of IT. I mean, you're seeing it in the cloud. You're seeing it in, pretty much everywhere in IT. And so it's a good thing to actually learn. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not gonna, pursue a job in that area like a Linux administrator, it's good to learn because it's used in cybersecurity, in all aspects. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it again, Pat, for thinking of me and inviting me, and shout out to all you guys' channel. And I wish I knew about Restream before this. I had to create an account. I would have restreamed it as well. I seen all you guys restreaming on y'all channels. I would have done the same thing if I if I knew y'all was using it, if I already had an account. So sorry about that, but I'll do it the next time.
Yeah, and I want to have you a one-on-one on a Thursday. So you have the account now, and you can restream that to your channel. So
okay,
awesome.
Cool.
So yeah, so I'll answer one question that just popped up. Which Linux distro, Kali or Parrot? So I'll say both.
Yes, both.
I like Kali more for your day-to-day pen testing stuff. I use Parrot more for, I cannot say this word, anonymity. Is that how you say it? To anonymize yourself.
Yeah,
and there's Black Arc too. Oh, look, Arc. So
no, Arch can get out of here. Arch Linux, get bent. And actually, I think me and Josh had a conversation about that.
Yeah, we had a beef over it
about something about that.
And then like
Arch,
and like Parrot, I really enjoy Parrot for Wi-Fi pen testing, right? For Wi-Fi stuff, all my Alpha cards, my Chinese cards that I get off of Alibaba, like some test, I just plug it in and it's plug and play. Literally, like a lot of those.
Alpha 500, and you'll be okay.
I have a few Alphas. I have them back. I don't even know, back there with my Ranger shit. But yeah. So I really appreciate my closeout was like, thank you so much. Let's appreciate everything that happened this year. Thank you guys for being on the channel for fucking 2.5 hours. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. And let's kick ass in fucking 2024. And let's stay in touch, and let's maybe make a group on whatever Discord or what, we can stick to our thing on LinkedIn. But if anyone, obviously from any channel, obviously help support each channel, right? We can subscribe to each other's channel and just grow the community. And hopefully you guys, can cross learn or whatever, learn from each other. And me and the Cyber Warrior kind of spirit of, yeah, that's funny, Alex. Yeah, and yeah, we'll talk about that. We don't want to go on another high horse. But thank you so much. And if there's any comments, if anyone sat here for 2.5 hours after the fact, leave it in, if you have any comments, leave it in the comment section below on each channel or whatever channel you watch this. And love you guys, and let's have a happy new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Take
Year.
care. Love you all.
Have a good one.
Take care.